everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And a reminder, the one we always give, this is not a spoiler-free podcast. So we can, and I probably will, mention some things in this episode that come up in future episodes. And that's just how it works, not spoiler-free. I am Melissa, and I'm here with my finicky co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing?
Well, to be finicky, I feel like I'd like some more optimistic descriptions of myself going forward.
Oh.
I feel like we went on a downward trajectory, starting with gaseous.
Oops.
Currently at finicky. And I'm going to be finicky about it because I didn't say they weren't accurate. I just said I didn't like them as much as when you called me elegant or, I don't know, some of the other ones.
I feel like this is really fitting.
Yeah,
Everything
thank you.
that just happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what are we going to talk about today other than being finicky or not being finicky? I don't know. We are going to talk about season 4, episode 10, Fire. This one originally aired December 12th, 2001. It was written by Laurie McCarthy and directed by Joanna Kearns. Here's the episode description. Noel looks into starting his own business and resolves to distance himself from Felicity. But an emergency at school brings them together in spite of their personal troubles. Meanwhile, Felicity finds new direction of her own in an art project. Ben becomes more studious than ever, and Meghan learns that her visiting teenage sister, Kala Savage, is pregnant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I could be completely wrong about this, and often am. My summary of this entire episode would go something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Ben passes O Chem. Felicity gets into Cavallo's class. Noel kind of gets over Felicity. The rest of the episode, I'm just going to put it out there, I could have done without. I feel like nothing else in this episode probably sticks around or has any effect on the rest of the show. And I'm just going to say it. I wasn't that interested.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have such different feelings about this one. This will be exciting.
Oh, and surprising.
That almost never happens, right, listeners? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, well, but again, you know what happens. So
Fish and I and how we feel about this episode is sort of like the way the episode opens. We're on the street.
Mm-hmm.
We run into each other. It's weird.
Yeah.
That's
I thought Ben maybe perhaps was doing a walk of shame, but it appears that in fact it is days, weeks, months later, I don't know, probably not months, than his night with Lauren.
Yeah, I think that night with Lauren was just a night with Lauren. I think that it wasn't a long-standing thing. I think her being like, just one night, this is just a one time, like, I think that's
I thought this was the next day.
Okay.
And it appears that I was incorrect.
Okay. Well, Ben is walking for somewhere. He's on the street, and Felicity is walking for somewhere. She's on the street, and they walk into each other. Unfortunately, This is just going to be weird.
It is.
Felicity's like, hey, so you haven't been at work? And it's like, yeah, I've been studying. She's like, you also didn't call me back. He's like, yeah, I've been studying. I'm studying a lot. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Covered that. Ben's been studying.
Yeah. He's studious. That's what's happening. Yep. And they're going to part awkwardly. And Felicity is going to look back. And Ben's going to sort of shake his head. Do, 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 do. Don't you become. I don't know. It's weird, right?
It's a weird opening. I mean, the best thing I can say about it is Felicity is wearing the red leather jacket that I love. And that's really it.
Yeah. we're going to start getting into straighter hair phase here for Felicity. And this is where it all comes apart for
This is
me as a human.
rough. I mean, I saw the braid that you were talking about, and I
It's
was
the
like,
braid.
oof.
Yeah, this braid
I mean,
is
I
going to be
feel
running
like
for a little bit.
she's had straighter hair, but the braid accentuates
It's not the
it.
only episode where she's going to have the braid. All I'm saying, guys, if I can just be real with you for a minute, look, I have hair sort of like Felicity's from freshman year. And I feel like hers is a little fluffier, but I really connected to this show and this character partly because of the hair. I didn't mind that she cut it. I was fine with that. Still had curly hair. If anything, I tried to emulate that my junior year when in college, when I saw her junior year hair and I thought I want to be just like her. And this is beyond the pale. Okay, there's nothing wrong with curly hair. All right. Don't try to tell me that it needs to be straightened, because I've had a lot of people in my life tell me that it needs to be straightened.
I fully agree. It does not need to be straightened. You have beautiful curly hair. But, I mean, just another reason, perhaps, that people don't enjoy her. Lauren has taken the curly haired role.
Yeah.
So, you know.
She has great hair. I'm telling you.
She does.
And the thing about it with Kerry Russell is gorgeous with almost any look of all time. Like, she is just a person who somehow looks beautiful regardless of what she's done to herself. And she kind of just stayed with this straighter hair thing. And I was like, you traitor.
I mean, I do feel like she's had straighter hair earlier in this season. And I kind of pointed it out, and you were like, but there will be a braid, and that will be the moment. Yeah. And so we're here. But I do feel like this is not the first episode where she's had straight hair this season. I know. But, you know, hey, you don't like the braid. I get that. The braid was ugly.
No. She looks fine. She looks fine. Okay. It's just a personal attack is all on me. And I'm not standing for it without saying something. That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. She says, sadly. Noel is in the bathroom. And this is kind of an interesting visual that they give us, because we see somebody, we don't know yet that it's Noel. We see somebody in the bathroom cleaning a razor. And then we see them put that razor into a cabinet, and we're going to see that same person grab meds. And I feel like the connection between razor and meds wasn't something I needed.
I didn't even pick up on that. Yeah. I just sort of thought morning routine.
Yeah.
He's shaving. He's taking his meds.
Yeah, that's I think what they were going for. But I was like, oh, this kind of plays weird.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy.
It's only when he closes the mirror that we actually see that it's Noel, but I think you probably get an idea from where the last episode ended.
When we see the meds, I'm like, Noel.
That's going to be Noel. Yeah. And we're going to cut from there to him being at his therapist, who's just checking in because Noel's just started these meds. And Noel's like, yeah, the meds are okay. Situation hasn't changed. But, you know, things are getting better, I guess.
The doctor's very, he asks the right questions. He's like, how are the meds? Different how? Throughout this episode, I feel like he just, he really keeps the questions minimal and to the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like, we need to give this guy dialogue in 5-word chunks or less. Noel's like, well, okay, so like things are clearer, and I'm going to give you another metaphor now, Mr. Therapist. Mm-hmm. It was like I was looking through a dirty window before. Now it's clean.
And of course, the doctor's going to say, and what do you see out this clean window? Like, okay. I personally don't connect with this metaphor, but maybe others do. Um, looking through I don't know, depression, looking through a dirty window, meds, now clean. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
Well, I guess,
we'll have had that experience.
depression can feel like a lot of things. And I guess it's helpful to put language to it that feels more descriptive, especially if it was being done at a time when people weren't necessarily happy to say, I have depression.
Right.
It's
It
like,
just
well, let's
seems
talk about what that feels or
it
looks
feels
like.
like
Yeah.
it
Maybe
just
that you'll
doesn't
connect with
seem
that.
like it's an emotion, I guess. Like
Sure.
maybe I don't know what it feels like to be looking out of a dirty window from inside
If I
and
think about a
then
time in my
it's
life when
clean.
I was sort of tapping into this, I was referring to it as I feel like I'm experiencing everything from underwater, which felt
So you
like,
really connected to the his brother's
yeah, I
description.
do think that's kind of an interesting way for me to connect with it because I remember feeling like everything, I'm just feel like I'm moving really slowly through everything.
Hmm.
And it's all just a little, I don't know, a little heavy. Um,
Yeah, I get the heavy. I get the like crushing weight. That's the
yeah.
like metaphor I would go with.
Okay. Well, they've given us no end
Many,
of depression
many
metaphors here.
things.
And this is another one we got here.
Yeah.
So, through the clean window, the now clean window, Noel can see he needs a job,
Hmm. Yep.
but
Because he
really
screwed up his old one.
yeah. And then he's like, but actually, what I really want is to start my own business, which is different than going out and finding a job. That's a very
Hmm.
different set of steps to do. Um, but
Correct.
so he's identified the idea of starting his own business. I don't think we've ever heard
I
Noel
was
talk about that
surprised.
before.
Yeah, I was surprised. I don't remember this being a thing.
Yeah. He from Felicity's freshman year, we knew that he had a website of his own.
Yes.
Uh,
Milcrane.com.
yeah, we knew that he had these skills, but I definitely haven't heard him talk about being an entrepreneur. But here it is.
He
Um,
doesn't strike me as the entrepreneurial type only because he seems like he would be a bit anxious. I feel like
mm,
if he was going to start his own business, he would need like a co-founder. Like I feel like he'd do really well with, you know how a lot of businesses have co-founders where you have like the visionary and then the operations person.
it's funny that you say that, Fish.
Yeah, I
We'll
feel
wait a
like he's
couple
the
episodes.
operations person.
He is. That's going to happen. He's going to get a
Oh,
co-founder
okay,
among
great.
the people you already know.
Oh my God, is it Zoe?
No,
Is she a visionary? Okay. Who's a visionary? I feel like Javier is a visionary, but I don't think he's going to join up.
it's Ruby's baby. God,
Damn it, I knew it.
that was too easy. It was so easy. So Ruby's baby Eva, she's gonna go like goo goo gaga, and he's gonna be like, "That's brilliant."
I shall operationalize it immediately.
Oh, that was everything I
Wow.
wanted to happen in succession. So, okay, well, just planting that seed, that'll be fun for you to think about until we see it happen. But
Awesome.
he's the thing about starting his own business is that he's getting sidetracked.
Yeah. And the doctor at this point is being very pointed. He's like, you know, you said you didn't look for a job over the summer because of Felicity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, basically, he's just like, Noel can talk, but here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
spend less time with Felicity till you get
Yeah.
back on track. Just let me identify your problem for you. It starts with an F and it ends with an elicity.
I remember the first, I don't know, 40 times I saw this where I was like, this is a lot. This therapist doing too much here. It felt like maybe I don't know if I felt like that because I didn't want Noel and Felicity to be split, or if I felt like that because I thought this guy was really clunky in his methods of how he got there. It was just like here is your problem. I don't want to be paid for more than one session. I just want you to know your problem. Felicity is your problem. Don't see her anymore, and then you won't need to keep coming back. Like it felt like, did therapists talk like this?
I'm
I
not gonna
guess.
lie. I so far have found him to be much more realistic than Dr. Pavone,
Yeah.
in a therapeutic setting. Because
Yeah.
he doesn't say, like, don't ever see Felicity. He's repeating back things that Noel has said to him. He's like, you had the whole summer, you didn't look for a job, and you spent it with Felicity. You've been talking a lot about Felicity. And he doesn't say don't ever see her. He's just like, okay, spend less time with her until you're back on track. Like,
Sure.
if what you want is a job and start your own business and not get sidetracked, this is what you've told me. So try it.
I guess that's sort of where the line blurs for me a little bit here, where it's like, okay, yeah, this is in the context of a job, but I think as we go through this episode, it's going to just be like the general presence of Felicity in his life. And I don't know that I see like a clear end date to this, like spend less time with Felicity. It's just a general directive right now, but it's like, where are we heading with this instruction? This is an exercise to do, but what does that look like in actual practice, and how long does Noel continue that process? I don't know that we've got a clear picture of that here.
And I doubt the therapist does.
Yeah.
I think, this has just been more my experience of therapist says back to you things you have said. And it's like, give it a shot. It's not you have to do this. Like, I'm not here to tell you you have to take medicine. Like, I'm not here to tell you you have to be away from Felicity, but this is what you have identified yourself as the issue.
Yeah.
Perhaps take a step back. And what I find really frustrating is Noel's reaction, which is, I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, at the end of last season,
yeah,
I remember a very specific toilet paper filled moment where you were like, you're not in my life anymore. What happened to that guy?
I think that Felicity is a crutch for him. I think that he doesn't know what life would look like without her. I think that he did spend a summer with her, not doing the other things that he was meant to be doing, like the, getting on with life stuff. And I think there's a reason he was doing that. Like, maybe it's because he was into her, but maybe it was also what was he avoiding, in the process of sort of hiding with Felicity. I think they were both hiding with each other.
Yeah.
And like, he has to both, if anything, she's sort of his addiction. Like, she's sort of the substance that he uses to, I don't know, to cope.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you feel like maybe Noel either has sort of a fear of success / imposter syndrome, or a fear of failure, that he's kind of why he hasn't moved on with this kind of job search? Or
there's got to be something, right? I mean, there's got to be something here, because I really don't feel it's just an obsession with Felicity. I feel it is maybe in equal part what he's avoiding. And is what he's avoiding a scary unknown future? Is what he's avoiding the success of starting a business of his own? Like, I think you might look at him doing what he did with Zoe first day on the job in the office as self-sabotage. So is that a fear of success? And so he sabotaged his way out of success. I think I lean more towards fear of success than fear of failure.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, he doesn't want to stand on his own.
Yeah.
Didn't he say at some point that like the thing that he was most scared of was like dying alone or something? Did I make that up?
Could have been. I'm not remembering
Um,
that off the top of my head.
hmm,
Yeah. Noel's got some big things to grapple with right now, that's for sure. But
yeah.
let's go over to Dean and DeLuca, where Felicity and Javier are chatting
Hmm.
because Ben's been canceling all his shifts. Felicity's like, he's so studious now.
I know.
He
She's so
studies all the
impressed.
time. Yeah. And Javier's like,
She's
that's
impressed with his
great, except he's
focus.
not coming to work. He canceled all his shifts. Not cool.
Also, Felicity, can you take all the shifts?
Yeah. Well, and it's a funny conversation, right? Because Felicity's like feeling inspired by what she's seeing from Ben. She's like, now that I think about it, I should be applying myself more. I mean, I'm working with Cavallo, and I
Mhm.
haven't even taken advantage of that. Like he was the guy. Remember back when he was the guy who was my entry, that he's how I was going to get into the honors art program. He said no. I'm working with him now. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah. And Javier's like, shifts need filling.
Yeah.
You.
He tells this random story when she mentions Cavallo. He's like, it's like me with Tito Puente. She's like, you studied with Tito Puente. And he's like, no. He was a neighbor. I could have met him, and then he didn't, and then he moved, and then he died. Story over.
I don't actually know who that is. And I didn't even bother to look it up.
Musician,
Ah,
as much
okay.
as I have. If you want to filibuster here for a second fish, I'm going to look him up and give you a proper definition.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't take the time to look him up, so. But Felicity is going to make a little pledge to herself that she's going to show Cavallo her new stuff and she's not going to take no until she gets into that program. And then she takes the shift that Javier asks her to, and we
Because
will
she
see
can't say
later.
no.
Yes, and we will see later she also will take no from Cavallo. Um,
Yeah.
so not great. Not great for
Tito Puente. So Tito Puente, he is best known for American musician, songwriter, band leader, timbalero, and record producer. He is best known for dance-oriented mambo and Latin jazz compositions from his 50-year career. His most famous song is Oye Como Va.
Oye, como va. You know, I know that one from oh shoot, the Latin the Latin jazz musician that I really like, whose name I can't remember right now. Back
This is going to be harder for
back
me to
to
come
more
up
on that
with.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pancho Sanchez. He
Okay.
also does a great version of Watermelon Man. Um, yes, you're right. I do know that song.
Okay. Javier could have potentially at least met this guy, but didn't. Um,
And then I
and
found
that's the
$20.
story. Yeah, yeah. So we're continuing to see. I think what's interesting to me about this episode is that here we are, years after freshman year, and so much like we're seeing sort of the same setup of a story, but it feels different. Like somehow we're back here, you know? Here's Felicity, kind of having trouble asserting herself, but resolving to do it. And then continuing to not be able to say no and just doing whatever she needs to do to help everybody. Like everybody asks her to do stuff, she does it, right? And she's taken on some more shifts from Ben. Great. And then Noel is like, how many times does this guy have to help Felicity
I know.
before he puts himself first? And I think this is an interesting episode for me because we're starting to see a couple cycles get broken.
I will be interested to hear
Particularly
where
with
you
Noel.
think they are broken.
Yeah, particularly with Noel.
Okay.
But like for Noel, it's like, oh my God, are we here again? Again? Like something about this episode is so striking to me because it's just like, just as he's like, I am really going to set a boundary this time. I'm really going to oh, no, never mind. No, I'm really going to do it. And he just like, he has to fight the world at every turn. And I think
Huh.
Felicity is like almost more of an idea than a person at this point. It's just like he just somehow keeps getting drawn back in. And Felicity is going to continue to be the Ben or Noel, like getting drawn to both of these things. And Ben is in a slightly different place now. Well, it's a very different place. And
he's in a very different place. I don't feel like Felicity is any more drawn to Noel. I mean, the guy just saved her life, and she's like, nah.
I don't feel that way at all.
Really? I don't feel like it was
I feel like
romantic.
at the end of this episode, maybe not romantic, but I feel like he's just been there for her always. So the idea of him not being there for her is like, what is happening? Like, it's very foreign. She's used to calling upon him. She's used to asking him for help.
But he does. He puts his own life at risk for her. I mean, to me, it's kind of like, sure, he can continue to say, like, I'm not going to come in and shower with you, but like, dude just put his life on the line. And again, her reaction is not a romantic one, which to me means she's still 100% focused on Ben. So
but I think she's continuing to like, I think old Noel, you know what? Let's talk about that when we get there, shall we?
Sure. Right now.
What are we doing? What kind of ship am I running here? Guys,
right now we're going to another plot line.
Yeah.
That, again, I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe, is it Lila or Layla?
Lila.
Mm-hmm. That Lila, does she get another episode?
Nope.
Is this it?
I think this is it.
That's what I thought. So sure. Okay, this is a thing.
The reason I find this interesting is not because of Lila.
I also don't find her mother thing interesting.
Okay. I do find that interesting because we never really get to see. We kind of hear glimpses of what Meghan's evolution with their parents has been.
And the evolution is they wrote her off.
They did, but then here we are, like, I think that this is so, I think there's actually quite a lot to unpack with her mom, more so than with Lila. I think Lila's a device here. Lila, that's you. You're a device.
Lila, you're a device.
Yeah.
So Sean is going to sit around and he's like, I would like to send Meghan shirts off to retailers and they're just not going to sell them. And he's a little pissed. And I still hate the name Meghan. And Meghan is kind of nervous. She's got that nervous energy. She's got on, nice shirt and her hair's done. Her jewelry is not so great. But she's ready. She is ready for Lila to show up. She's so cool. She's going to introduce her to Sean. And she's just ready for her to come upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lila does.
Yeah. And one of the little touches they put in here that I kind of enjoyed was that when Lila buzzes up, Meghan and Lila have this little, like, I don't know, what would you even call this? And just like a little song that they made up.
Refrain. Yeah, it's like, I hate you. I hate you.
Bye. Happy holidays. I this absolutely reminded me of some of these things. Like, my sister and I had some stuff like this that was almost always created in the car on family vacations. And like, we had a whole little language that I taught her, which was mostly just numbers and some random word. We would just have, I remember a trip to, I want to say it was Disney World, and my parents, we were getting very close to the destination, and my mom was like, look for signs for alligator bayou. And I remember turning to my sister, I was like, we want alligator bayou, not alligator far away. And by the time we got to our destination, I was leading my sister in a chant, alligator bayou, alligator far away, alligator bayou, alligator far away. And like, this stuff, like, this is the kind of stuff that when siblings are getting along can happen, until somebody beats the pulp out of the other one. Because they're
This
so
is so
annoying.
interesting, the sister versus maybe brother dynamic, because I had, you know, younger brother. We got along. We never did that.
Well, I'm here
That
to
was
tell
not a
you
thing.
that this stuff had a very short shelf life because we never normally spent this much time around each other. So at some point in our
Uh,
family vacations, it would take a real turn for the worse.
we
And it
were
would be one
generally
alligator
okay.
bayou, alligator far away, too much.
Yeah. I mean, we would get on each other's nerves sometimes, but for the most part, we just like played games in the car, or we'd like share half of because you didn't have earbuds, right? You had those like Walkman things.
Sure.
So you'd have to like put your heads near each other to hear stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'd like share music, and we'd tell like, jokes, or we'd like start laughing. And then as soon as we would like laugh or like be happy together, we'd get yelled at for being too loud.
Yeah.
So you're like, we're not fighting, we're laughing. That's like the opposite of fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess all this to say,
Siblings, they can be
siblings.
fun.
Sometimes you have your own little quirks, your own little language, your own little inside jokes, and we're getting an inside look directly into one of those with Meghan and Lila.
It's very
And
nice.
yeah, so Lila's gonna come up. She is pregnant.
She seemingly is pregnant, and yet she is very much pretending not to be pregnant.
Yeah, she's like, I
And
just
both
gained some weight.
Sean and Megan are like, she's pregnant, right? It's
She's
not
like,
just the
no, I just
cookie.
gained weight. No, 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 no. This is not the bump of a gain of weight.
Yeah. I was like, all
Um,
right. Um,
I mean, she's not wrong. She did, in fact, gain weight, but there was a reason.
yes. And she's
Yeah.
all baby. I mean, there's no like extra weight she has anywhere else. Like she's 100% gained weight
Some might
just
even
in the
call that
baby area.
a prosthetic baby bump, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
But they didn't go to any extra lengths to make it look like perhaps she had put on weight in other places. No.
yeah, yeah.
But I think we've both known people like this who it's like they're still really skinny and yet
Very
they
pregnant.
have a baby in them.
Yeah. Yeah. She looks pretty far along,
Yeah.
when she's showing up at the doorstep. And then we're gonna put a pin in this storyline and come back to it, is what we're gonna do. Right. Because
Yep.
first we have to see Kamala looking at Felicity's work because she's making this thing happen. All right.
And I just have to say, these paintings, sorry, not about it. Don't like them. I
Yeah.
actually wrote ew.
Yeah. Well, I think Cavallo was thinking the same thing. He's like, oh, there's texture and there's movement. Okay.
It's
And then
like, keep
Cavallo gives her
at
the
it.
old keep at it. Yeah. She's like, I will. Yeah, you bet. Uh-huh. But then she's going to take this another step and she's going to say, okay, wait. I want to try for the honors program again. So please, give me actual feedback.
Yeah. And the way she says it is be brutally honest.
Yeah.
So you expect maybe, or I expected Cavallo to say something that was perhaps less than motivational for her.
Mm-hmm.
But what he says seems like something he should have just said, like
Yeah.
at the beginning, like
Yeah.
months ago, right?
Seems
He's
like it
like,
should have been part of the application process.
I agree. I fully
What's
agree.
your theme? State it in 5 words or less.
Yes, you're doing a thesis.
Yeah.
So his advice is you got too many ideas. Loving the energy, but this is a thesis. You need a singular, cohesive theme.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh.
Right. Her mind is blown by this concept.
And she's actually really excited about this feedback because she's like,
Yeah.
this is something I can work with. I now understand what I need to do. Theme. You want a theme? I'll get you a theme. All right.
Right. I will be back.
Yeah.
when there's a theme.
And she asks if she can show her work again, which she has a cohesive theme. He's like, you bet. Because what else is he going to say?
Yeah,
And
she
there we
works
have it.
for him and can't get away.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's got him in a tight spot here.
Yeah.
Well, we're
And he
going to go
doesn't
to.
come off as creepy. I'm just gonna
No, he
say
doesn't.
they've removed the creepy element.
Thank God.
Agreed.
Well, that may not be consistent.
Yeah. But at
I
least
didn't
with
need
this,
more of that, is what I'm saying. So
No.
I'm happy to take the other episode as an isolated incident.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna go to O Chem.
Yes, we are.
Hodges has learned some lessons.
Yes. He in this whole episode, his face, except for like one moment, is just it's stone.
Yeah.
He is so serious.
I think that's why I think it's a nice contrast to have though, because at the moment when it's not stone anymore,
Yeah.
your whole body lights up and becomes warm. Like for me, I was like, oh,
I know.
and they only could have gotten there if Hodges is a hard ass the rest of the time. But the thing is, like, even within that stone face, he has learned some lessons. Like he's in front of the class sharing what's going to be on the final, and he's being explicitly clear, like he's not interested in having the same confusions as happened on the midterm. And
some may say a little defensive. He's like, I understand there have been some confusions in the past. Let me just make it extremely clear so there's no confusion, looking directly at Trevor.
Yeah, like I'm not looking for binge drinking and comas at the end of this final. Let me be clear about that too.
Or at least if they happen, it's not my fault.
Yes, I would like all of you to sign this waiver. And so he's sharing what's going to be on the final. Trevor is in complaint mode. He's just there to complain. But Ben's like, quiet.
Not even. He completely ignores Trevor.
Yeah.
Like he just keeps taking notes. I mean, Hodges is there saying, all right, we're doing carbohydrates. It's comprehensive. And Ben is just taking notes, completely focused. Trevor's talking. Ben doesn't hear him.
And you've got to figure, it's been a second since we've seen Ben in this class, but you have to figure this is what Ben is doing in this class, and Hodges has been clocking it. Like you can't not see the intensity on Ben's whole demeanor. He is 100%. There to work. And he's taking his second chance and he's running with it. I don't necessarily know. Hodges mentions extending his office hours. I don't necessarily know that I imagine Ben's been going to his office hours, but
I think if he has a question, he is, because apparently the person who's supposed to be helping him, Elena, has just been like giggly and distracted and, whatever with Trev over here. So, where else is he going to get the information?
Trevor's wanting to study with Elena. Ben is like, no, heck no, absolutely not. No, because you guys don't study is the thing. I want to study. You guys want to just mess around. I can't have it anymore. I can't have it.
I know.
Ben.
See, this is what I don't understand, though. Why study with Trevor? Because Elena's the one who's going to help you. So
clearly right now, neither of them are.
Trevor, study with Elena, and then let Trevor and Elena do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is sort of like really Ben's probably better off just studying on his own at this point.
I think he's better off studying with Elena.
Not if what we're gonna, put a pin in that for a second.
Without Trevor.
Yeah, that's not an option. Is the thing, apparently. Because all we know about Elena is she's a background character who giggles with Trevor right now.
So sad.
But there we are. But she's, they're doing their thing. You know who else is doing his thing?
No.
He's gone to a printer. He's working on some sort of a logo.
Yeah, Noel Crane Graphics.
But
put a logo together.
He promptly drops like all those papers on the street on the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
And then this chick with a weird braid comes up,
Oh no.
and I'm just like, like, all I can see is the braid. And I get that she's helping him, but I'm like, why do you have this weird ass braid
Mhm.
in your hair? Just ignore her, Noel. She's not worth your time.
Yeah, Felicity is running into him and she's going to help him pick up all these dropped loose papers. They're all over the place, but she sees his logo. She's like, oh my God, Noel Crane Graphics.
Let's be clear. Felicity was the one with the weird braid.
That's true. Thank you for clarifying because I'm sure nobody listening remembers the braid because my God. Yeah, she sees these papers and she's loving the logo. She's loving the idea, the idea of having his own business. She's supportive. He's
Yeah.
he's trying not to turn this into a full-blown conversation, but he's failing.
He's trying to get away. He's trying
Yeah.
to get away quickly before he says anything that could, prolong his time with Felicity before he gets himself on track.
But it's
And
don't you
yes.
fear because she's going to fill the silence. She's like, "Well, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I apply for the honors seminar, the honors program with Cavallo is what I did."
I was
then,
like, great. I don't have to help with that at all. Wait a minute.
Noel's drawn in though by that, and he's like, "Oh, maybe you could get his input now." She's like, yeah. He told me I need a thesis. I can't even believe I didn't think of that, Can't even believe it wasn't on the application. Noel says, well, if you need help.
I know. And you're just like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Take it back. Put it back in your mouth.
I
Take the
know.
words and put them back in your mouth.
Oh, Noel just offering things he can't, he's not
I
there
know.
to carry out. And then Felicity's like, oh, I hadn't even thought. Okay, great, cool. Well, let me give it some thought and I might run some ideas by you. He's like,
Yeah.
Oh, what a mistake.
Cut to Noel and his therapist, where Noel's just sitting there going, I'm saying yes to questions she hasn't even asked.
Yep.
And the therapist at this moment just continues to ask the question, why? 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 Why I want to make her happy? Why? What makes me happy? Why? Because we're friends.
Yeah. And the therapist is finally like, enough's enough. Didn't we, last time we talked?
Right.
Do you remember the last time we talked when we said that gets you off track?
Yeah. And he's like, yeah. So I should stop doing that? Is that a
therapist is like,
Yeah. Good job. Good job, Noel.
Well done, Noel. You got there.
Here's
you
a
got
treat.
There. Yeah. Gosh. I mean,
yeah.
This therapist must have been like, oh, this
guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go back.
Walk him to water.
Gonna go back to the loft.
Now we forgot to mention at the end of the last Lila scene.
Yeah.
She was pretending not to be pregnant, but still needed to ask to go to the bathroom, supposedly so that she could clean herself up, in addition to having to pee because, she's pregnant. What I found very interesting about this next scene, Meghan walks in and is like, Lila, you've been taking some time in here. Meghan has completely changed her outfit. Lila's been in there so long, Meghan had to go through a wardrobe change.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ask me if I noticed.
Did you notice that?
Nope.
Yeah.
These are the types of details you're just not going to get from me, listeners, but that's why we love fish.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Well, so Lila's been in the bathroom for a little while because she's trying to get the smell of smoke out of her clothes. Pot out of her clothes.
Pot. Her sweaters reek of pot.
Meghan's like, you're smoking up? And she's like, no, it's my roommate.
Yeah. And then Lila does the worst thing. She says the worst thing she could possibly say to Meghan, which is, you are getting just like mom.
Yeah. Which Meghan doesn't really take that bait. She's kind of like, look, all right,
Yeah, she
here's the
takes it
deal.
in stride. I can hear her internal monologue. It's like I can't hit my pregnant sister. I can't hit
Yeah.
my pregnant sister.
I mean, she at the end of the day, there's a problem here. Like Meghan is not going to be a person who's going to sit living in this world of the I'm not pregnant, I've just gained weight visit. She's like, we're not doing this. So Meghan actually gets there subtly. She's like, I am here for you. And she gives her that look like, can you stop BSing me? Can we just stop with this? And Lila just crumbles. She's like, you can't tell mom and dad.
Yeah, that is rough.
That's rough.
Because later we will find out how old she is. So,
Yeah, Meghan's going to reluctantly swear to that and they're going to hug. Meghan's worried. You can see it on her face. She doesn't look, this is a big secret to keep. Her sister is going to have some problems. She's going to struggle here. Meghan isn't really in a position to help her to the extent that she needs help.
and also, how is this even going to be possible to
Yeah.
keep the pregnancy of their daughter from her parents? I mean,
Well,
until I realize what Lila's plan is, which has
yeah.
not been revealed, and how old she is.
Yeah.
Many things are unclear at this point. But
Yeah.
from my perspective, with the information we have right now, I was like, this seems like an impossible task.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. But we'll come back to that in a moment because first we're going to get
Fascinating
Felicity.
scene.
Felicity is searching the dictionary. She's
Yes.
trying to find her theme. She finds a word that she likes. We don't know what it is yet. She's like, what did I always do with Noel when I was coming up with a big decision? I checked my magic 8 ball. So she does that.
Which
And
I
she
don't
gets an
understand how
answer.
that's not ruined from when Noel threw it, now that you reminded me of that.
Yeah, maybe she got a new magic 8 ball. Maybe it's a really durable magic 8 ball.
I have used those magic 8 balls. They are not that durable.
Well, maybe this one is. They should be
Maybe.
because do people always get the answers they want from magic 8 balls? Probably not. I mean, shooting the messenger much? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that was built into the Magic 8 Ball experience of like you're gonna have to replace this a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
that? What is
Yeah.
that phrase? Something obsolescence.
Are magic 8 balls still a
Planned
thing?
obsolescence. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, that's like asking if Rubik's cubes are still a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Thank God.
I
Well,
know.
I just haven't thought about them since college and watching the show, I guess is the deal. So, all right, Felicity's going to get an answer she likes. She's going to smile. She's in a room. And then we're going to cut to Noel in his office where Felicity is about to drop by because, I mean, Noel did offer to help.
He did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's surrounded by Chinese food, logos in his guidance counselor office, and he's just waiting. Just, he's bait. He's just sitting there waiting for Felicity to come in and say, "Hey, Noel, pinatas?"
Yeah, she's come up with a theme idea that she is feeling good about. What do you think about pinatas? He's like, well, I like them.
I'm not gonna lie.
No.
When she first said pinatas, I was not a fan, but I did like her explanation.
I like her explanation and I like the resulting art, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm you know what? This is gonna be my note from an optimist. Here we go.
Oh, all right.
Pinatas.
Yeah.
I almost never think about them. I've hardly ever used them, but they're fun and they're violent and they're associated with fun and they've on many levels, right? Because there's an activity and they're treats. And there could be all kinds of treats if you really wanted. And I wish I had a party I could go to right now where I could crack open a pinata. And there's teamwork involved. and blindfolds. I mean, what a wonderful thing. And I enjoy that this theme resonated for Felicity as like life bats you around a little, but sometimes that's when the surprises come out. Well, that's a nice idea. Plus, I like the idea that we're now going to start moving away, at least in this episode, from Felicity doing paintings of black sludge goop and giant stenciled words to more colorful, festive sorts of paintings. So I feel like we're really heading into a world where more things are possible now because of piñatas. Fish, tell me your problems with piñatas.
I mean, I only have 2 words.
Okay.
Cultural appropriation.
Okay.
I just thought I'd make it awkward for us.
That's weird. Yeah.
I like the way that she talks about them. I like they're colorful. I don't think she makes any real art. And
she draws 2 lines in an arch, okay? She does.
She does.
And when we're going to see the studio burning, she's done a lot of piñata art.
And don't get me wrong, I actually like the burn studio like setup. Like I really think that was a great scene.
They put a lot of care into setting that up, I think.
Yeah.
That was really very well constructed,
done.
Isn't right?
I liked it much better than when she had her paintings.
Sometimes the shots they set up in that studio are very interesting. Like I was mentioning that one with our bullfighter friend. Yeah.
Jail.
Jail. Somebody had to do all the art that they're going to burn. So they really did have quite a lot of she had done a lot of work in her session in the studio, and she had a bunch of canvases with a bunch of paintings. And they commissioned, however many people to do those pieces, and they put them up all over the place.
Or they just let their children run free in some art studio for a while. Use them.
I'm still really glad that this is the look that they gave us instead of black sludge. Like, is it an oil spill?
Yes.
Or slam.
That I agree with.
Some of that stuff was too abstract for me on any level, but I don't know. The theme is good.
I like her description. You get knocked around a bit, and she feels shaken up. And she's waiting for the surprise to come out. I don't know that I saw the surprise come out this episode, but maybe it'll be later. Unless the surprise was supposed to be the art, in which case I don't like what came out.
I think the surprise is Ben calling her.
No, I feel like if Felicity is the piñata, a call from Ben cannot fall out of it. The surprise has to come from inside the piñata.
No, it's the fire
shaken up.
Yeah, it's the fire that shakes it up. And
right, but
Ben is out of her orbit right now. So the fact that this sort of a tragedy with not as many consequences as you'd think there would be. Nobody's hurt in this fire. It seems that most of the damage was restricted to her studio or at least the art studio's area of the administration building. And obviously her stuff is very damaged, but she gets out of it the compassion of Kavala. Well, I'm just spoiling the whole episode. I don't know. Stop me when you when you want to. But I think that there are good things that come out of the fact that she was in the fire, both with Cavallo and with Ben feeling compassion to call her, because he's just not in her orbit anymore.
I don't think the piñata is the fire. I think she is the piñata. And the surprise has to come out of her. So it's some sort of internal growth. It's something that has to come from the piñata. And she says, I feel shaken up. I'm waiting for the surprise to come out. Like at least that's the way I interpreted it.
Yeah.
Which then frustrated me because Noel tries so desperately to talk about himself,
Yeah.
and nothing surprising happens. Felicity thinks it's about her.
Yeah. He's
So
having a real hard time. He is having a very hard
articulating.
time setting these limits. He
Yes.
can't for the life of him. She's like, tell me about pinatas. He's like, there's some stuff going on, like emotional stuff. She's
Yeah.
like, but yeah, that's what I would deal with, the emotional. He's like, no, with me.
Yeah. This is about me now.
Yeah. He's like,
Me.
I want to help. And he trails off. So oh my God, I just barged in. You're dealing with stuff. You're working on your business.
It's like, yeah, it's a little bit more than that. He just needs to tell her she's a distraction. They shouldn't be spending time together. But he's sitting there making her say it, which
Yeah.
is so painful.
Fortunately, she knows him well enough to be able to finish his sentences, but he is not. Like, he is finding it so darn impossible to
Yeah.
articulate himself and to set these limits. And it's a little bit reminded me of the breakup conversation with Julie and Ben.
Well, it reminded me of the breakup conversation with Felicity and Ben,
Hmm.
where,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, I have to say this. All right, I'll break up with myself. I'll set limits between us, myself, I guess.
Yeah. It's hard.
And
It's
what,
hard to watch. And it's just like so hard for Noel. And he says, I need to get my life on track. She's like, okay, so you're saying, what are you saying?
yeah,
I actually really love that moment of acting from Carrie Russell. It's something that I remember noticing even like the first time I saw it, and just that sort of like, okay, so you're saying, and she's sort of like something about her mouth kind of works around like what is happening.
yeah,
Like I don't know if I get this. And Noel still can't answer that question directly. It's like,
no,
I don't know. Like, you're saying we shouldn't spend time together?
correct. Yes.
And then
Good
Noel's able
job.
to, she broke the seal. And now Noel's able to just affirm instead of say it.
Yeah. But he will end the scene while she's leaving his office with a really into that pinata idea. Like,
Mm-hmm.
go forth and do that.
Yeah. So this is sort of a bat to the pinata, the whole Noel being like, yeah, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So we are going to go to a studying session where Ben is thoroughly pissed.
He's so annoyed.
Yeah,
He's so annoyed.
he is just really frustrated. And Trevor and Elena are flirting.
Yep. And giggling.
Yeah. And Ben's like, this is crazy. And he leaves.
It's like, I'm going to the library. And he
Yeah.
storms out of the room. Trevor's like, all right, I'll go after him. You
Yeah.
didn't have to go after him, Trev.
You probably shouldn't have, because Ben's like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it. Trevor's like, man, there are other things besides studying. Ben's like, nope, not for me.
That's right.
Ouch. Imagine if I had told you freshman year that we would get to a point where Elena would be the one fooling around and giggling with a guy, and Ben was the one who needed to seriously study.
I don't think I would have been 100% surprised about Ben. Elena, I still feel like this is weird.
Yeah.
This is just weird.
Yep.
You know what else is weird?
What?
A slow motion scene where Felicity carries a pinata and looks to her side to watch Noel take a sip of coffee in slow motion.
Yeah, but she's carrying a pinata.
So weird.
Yeah. Well, Okay. You're not into the artistry?
It was just such a weird moment to put in slow motion.
So, okay, so somebody made this decision, right? It's probably the director. It's probably Joanna Kearns. We're looking at you, Joanna.
Yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think that decision was made? For me, maybe my guess on this is they're trying to set up the importance, like this is going to be a momentous thing, and they're slowing things down so we can really mark the beginning of a change, like a not a life-changing event, but an event that will change things.
She's walking by with a pinata and he's taking a sip of coffee.
And passes his office, does not go inside, goes into the studio, puts on her headphones, starts painting. So,
Which
like,
is what she should be doing.
yeah. So,
She's
but
done
we're
that
sort
plenty of
of
times.
accenting it with a slow mo.
I
I don't
don't know.
know,
Usually we get a slow-mo of like a Ben walk away or like, a wistful glance or
which is basically
something.
what she's doing past his office. She doesn't go inside. She doesn't
It
interact with
was
him.
just so humdrum that he was just like, it wasn't even like he looks at her and she looks at him and or like he's looking at his computer and doing it. I feel like I was most bothered by the fact that he was just taking a sip of coffee and it completely obscured his face.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's weird.
Okay. All right then. Well, we're just having that moment, but we're going to leave again. We're going to go to the loft. Meghan's got a lot to deal with right now. So she goes to Lila and offers to help her look for a doctor.
Yeah, she's looking in, I'm guessing the white pages, although it looked like the yellow pages.
Hmm.
Is that wrong?
Yellow
She
pages was
should have been looking for.
businesses, white pages is like personal, like residential
Okay.
contacts and
So
numbers.
she was correct. She's looking up doctors in the yellow pages. And then we get two bombs dropped in quick succession. Lila, one, thinks she can get an abortion, and two, is in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, context.
Yeah.
This would have been helpful earlier.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, that's not a surprising age difference for them. But yeah, this is a big problem for Lila.
Mhm.
So did she run away from home?
Guess so, or I
She couldn't
mean,
have,
she
right?
must
Because I
have
think her
been gone
parents
for
must
a
have noticed.
while.
Yeah.
Right. For her
Yeah.
parents not to notice, I don't know where she's been.
Private school, probably. She's probably at some sort of
I
like a
feel
charter.
like if she was in private school, somebody would have alerted her parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Tricky, right? How has Lila dodged all this? So Megan's like,
Yeah, you've not
you
taken
you don't
health
have
yet.
those options. Like when
Yeah,
she realizes that Lila wants an abortion, she's like, I think that's off the table already.
that's not a thing that happens in your third trimester
Seems like she's in her third
legally.
trimester. Yeah. So it's, Megan's like, look, let's just call mom and dad.
Because I don't know what to do. I mean, you sort of see you see Megan, and she's trying. She is trying, but she is not prepared for this.
Mm-mm.
She's just
Mm-mm.
like, we need to call our parents.
And
I
frankly,
have
Megan's
insurance.
relationship with her parents is already
Dad.
wherever it stands right now, it's tense enough. Like,
Yeah.
what is this is not a position she can be in. And Lila's like, well, maybe you can pay for the doctor so it won't like turn up on insurance bills. Megan's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I don't have that kind of money. Like
Yeah,
I don't I see why you would think that given the giant loft that I
yeah,
am living in,
yeah,
but no. I have been cut off and therefore do not have that money.
yeah. And Lila is going to storm out. She's going to leave. Not
Yeah.
like a Richard storm out, but she's going to leave nonetheless.
She puts a coat on at least.
Yeah. So we are going to start with we're going to get some music entering here, which is going to start as just like music they put over it, but it is actually diegetic music, ultimately, which it's called Cloud. It's called It Does by Cloud 11, which I really enjoy, actually.
I don't know what diegetic music is.
Yes, you do. We've had this chat. So when music is actually playing in the show, I don't know if this is a perfect example of this because the song that they're picking here, at first it's going over the scenes like like a montage music would, but the song they've picked is actually what's playing in Felicity's headphones.
Ah, okay.
So normally it would be like if somebody turns on a radio and you hear a song, that's music that's playing, but it's playing from the radio in the scene. It is that here, but they're also doing the effect of like it starts as montage music.
Okay. Got it.
So this one's a little peppy. It's a little, I don't know if I want to say alternative. Every time I run, does it say anything to you? It's got like a little bit of a
I think we had the same music in this one.
okay, cool. Yeah. It's a male band, male singer. It starts where we start at the O Chem test. And Ben, they get the test, the tests are passed out, they start taking them, and Ben's looking pretty confident.
Yeah.
He's got this.
You get to compare Trevor and Ben's expressions because Trevor looks down at his paper and you just get this, oh man, and he like puts his hand to his head. And then you've got Ben who looks at the paper, intensely looks up, and then is like, got it, and starts writing. It's like, all right,
yeah,
go for it. You got it.
And then we're going to see post test, that Ben walks by Trevor on his way out, but then he stops and looks back and he sees Trevor and Elena hugging and being happy with each other. And Ben kind of smiles looking at them, but he's also probably feeling pretty good that he just probably did well on his O Chem test.
I was wondering at this point, did you feel like he was missing Felicity?
I think he must be because of something Trevor says a little bit later. Like, I think Trevor has been seeing signs that Ben misses Felicity. And so those signs must be existing. And so I want to say that when he sees Trevor and Elena together, he feels a little bit of a pang.
Yeah, that was sort of what I got out of it.
But he's not looking at them with like a wistful sadness. He does smile looking at it.
Like he's happy for them.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there was also a little, and I remember what that was like.
Yeah. Yeah. So now the music is still playing. Felicity is in her studio painting. She's got her headphones on.
She does.
And
these are not like the headphones we have today. They're not earbuds. They're not those giant headphones that cover your entire ear. Like these little tiny Walkman headphones with the foam that went around them, you could hear everything while you were listening to music, and everyone could hear your music.
Yeah.
So,
including us as viewers.
Yeah. Her being surprised by Cavallo in this moment, I'm like, really?
Yeah, well, she was also really focused. Look, this woman is painting a lot of paintings. Look at the amount of work she's done. Cavallo does come in and surprises her. It's just pinata art everywhere. Everywhere the light touches, pinata art.
Yep.
And he starts looking around. He's like, interesting. And then she takes
come up with her theme.
Yeah, she takes them out. She's like, look, at this point, it's just a study, but it's undiscovered contents, the surprises that come after life hits you around a bit. Cavallo's like, keep it up.
Yeah. And I wrote, Well, at least it's colorful in
I
my
like that.
notes.
Yeah, I do like that.
I, it's something that can be said that is positive. So I
Yeah.
don't just have to say, uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a nice little bit of encouragement from Cavallo. And she's like, yeah, okay. And so she puts her headphones back on and she goes back painting. And then, the assumption is that a few minutes lapses. I don't know, a little bit of time. We're going to see Noel in his office. And a student is going to come in because he's going to take a call. He's getting distracted. And a student is going to come in with real volunteer firefighter energy about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice callback. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. And he's like, Mr. Crane.
Huh.
I think there's a fire.
Yeah. The building appears to be ablaze.
Yeah, there's some smoke.
And
And
Noel is just he's confused. He's like, let me call you back. And he listens.
No alarm.
No alarms.
Yeah,
No.
that's a problem. So Noel's going to go outside with the student who never
Outside
gets
his
named.
office.
Yeah. Well, yeah, outside his
still
office.
Inside.
In the hallway.
Yes.
And he's like, why aren't the alarms going off? And,
Good question.
They're broken. He can't turn them on.
He tries.
And then we're going to cut to Felicity painting with her headphones on. And because there's no fire alarm, she doesn't know what's happening. Plus, there was nobody else in the studio. Plus, it's enough time has elapsed that Cavallo isn't there to come back and grab her.
All right, conspiracy theory time.
Oh.
Ready? Cavallo hated her work so much, he set the fire.
No.
And ran away.
No, because that gets disproven by him bringing her back into the art program.
No, that was just him trying to cover his tracks.
I feel like that's a really cloudy, counterproductive method. Just say no, just say no. Or just say yes. Why destroy the work?
Because.
Okay. So Cavallo is an agent of chaos.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Noel is going to be just as out of character, I think, here. Because, we've always gotten a Noel who wants to help Felicity out. But it's usually in the creepiest, can I offer you a job for sex kind of way, right? He's not really the, let's go door to door and be a hero. That's more of a Ben type of thing to do. But we are going to get not really fighter, kind of firefighter, Noel here, who's going to run down the hallway, bang on all the doors, and
the reason he does this, the student is going to say, I hope no one's in the studio.
Well, he says that after Noel has already banged on a bunch of doors.
Okay.
And the guy is following him, and the unnamed student is like, all right, we should get out. And I hope no one's in the studio. And Noel's like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. This is in the studio. Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of turpentine in there.
Sure is. And so Noel's going to run for the studio. This might be a little too far in the past for us to remember this, but do you remember when Noel had to fake a relationship with Sensa?
Yes.
In Felicity's freshman year? And apparently Sensa had told them that the relationship started because Noel saved her, carried her out over his shoulder from maybe a burning building. Was that what I remember him picking Sensa up and showing how he carried her out of the building?
I don't remember that part. I remember the fake relationship. I remember the sausages
Yeah. And
and
when
the
he
weird
was,
caviar.
yeah, when he was with those guys, when he was with her family, they were like, tell us the story of how you saved our
Yeah.
Sensa. And then he tells the story and he does a little, I don't know if that's a fireman's carry, um,
Huh.
the over the shoulder, but I think the story was that the building was burning.
Could have been. Definitely could have been.
Kind of interesting. They're calling back to it here, maybe. Um,
Finally gets to live that fantasy.
I guess so, right? Saves a
Yeah.
woman from a burning building. Um,
Yeah. Everything that happens from this point forward to the end feels half PSA-ish and half just like no. Like
I
just
I enjoy the
no.
symbolism of it. I very much
Okay.
do.
You know what? Let's go through it from that perspective because from a fully realist perspective, if you've got a fire going on, PSA, you know, tap the handle first because it might be hot.
Mhm.
Also, at that point, maybe instead of taking all of those, towels or sheets or art draping things and sticking them under the door where the smoke is coming through, just use it to open the door and put them over you and run outside because Noel had no problem getting to the door. And then just slightly, putting a little anti-fire dust around it and then kicking it open. Just kick it
Well,
open. It was
yeah.
not, none of this is necessary. It all
Okay.
just pissed me off. This
Okay.
entire scene, from a realist perspective, pissed me off. All she's doing is dumping more turpentine on the ground. She is not helping herself.
Yeah. Sure,
So let's
sure.
go through it from your perspective so I can be slightly calmer about life.
So, okay, so the blaze is basically directly outside Felicity's door. She's going to stop. Yes, she's going to grab the rags to try to stop the smoke from coming in. Her
PSA,
thought is she's going to try to go out the window
which
instead
is
of out the
stupid.
door. Is it?
They're on, didn't they say they're on the second floor?
So I would assume that this building has a fire escape, but
Not outside that window.
well, so the window is she can't open it, which is a callback to when Noel was struggling with the window earlier this season as well.
Yes, but
Um,
different window.
yeah, it was a different window, but I guess the windows on
Same
this building
placement.
are, yeah, like not, there hasn't
They're
been a lot of upkeep
decorative.
on this building. So it's kind of, it was sort of interesting to see that scene happen because I hadn't remembered that Noel struggled with the window and then I knew that this was going to happen. But she just flat out can't open the window using any implement. But I think her plan was always to go out the window down a fire escape and not have to run through a burning building. But she can't open the window and then she gets stuck in the building or in
But
her
she
room
doesn't even try to
specifically.
break the glass.
No, she doesn't. She's still working on trying to pry it open when Noel comes up. The thing that can this is maybe the part that needs a PSA. Noel gets up towards the door, sees her, calls her name, and she's like, I can't open the window. He says, no, don't let oxygen in. Is that a
Right.
thing?
Well, I also wondered about this. So, first of all, if there's no oxygen, you die. Okay. Now, my only thought is this is a backdraft kind of situation,
Okay.
right? Like she opens the window and whoosh, the fire gets pulled through her studio, like where she's standing. It gets bigger and pulled through.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But again, this whole thing is stupid because at that point, he could have just kicked the door open as he does in 2 seconds. They could have
Yeah.
left.
Well, but okay. So, but he has to grab a fire extinguisher first.
Does he?
He runs
Does
through
he?
live wires because it's an electrical fire. And
Which
then,
definitely don't put water on, but also don't put turpentine on it.
yeah. Well, nobody put water on it, but he's trying to get the fire extinguisher. So he sprays the door, then kicks it, then grabs for Felicity, and then they run through this. At this point, this fire is blazing. I always wondered about that bit. Don't open the window.
I think it's a
what the hell are
backdraft
you
thing.
supposed to do? Yeah.
You're supposed to just open the door using the rags and cover yourself in them, and you should have wet them first and then walk out. Also, don't put dry rags under the door. You're supposed to wet them. Now, if it's an electrical fire, I don't really know. So feel free to correct that. But I still think before you put them under the door, you're supposed to wet them. But the music was so freaking dramatic for like a door with a hot knob. I'm like,
sure.
What?
But there was quite the blaze happening outside the room, and there were live wires, all right? So just, I think and then we get this shot as Felicity and Noel exit. Felicity looks back into the room and you just see all of the pinata paintings burning. Well, you see like the whole studio starting to burn.
Yeah. But I also am like, so Noel says, get down close to the ground, cover your face, right? Because smoke is an issue. He's out getting the fire extinguisher, which is completely unnecessary. She starts arranging stuff and dumping turpentine on the floor.
Moving it away from the door to get further from the flames. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she goes and sits down on the floor and doesn't get up until Noel sprays the door, kicks the door in, walks all the way over to her and is like, take my hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
So what I like about this is just the sheer symbolism of this event and what happens after this event. Because Noel has been coming to Felicity's rescue since her freshman year.
Has he?
Well, he's been, I mean, he's been the guy that she goes to.
For you.
Yeah.
Let's have sex.
Yeah, but think about freshman year. Think about every time she was constantly going to his room, talking with him about every problem that she was having. He was, trying to, he was her go-to for fixing stuff. Whether or not he actually fixed stuff, that is a dynamic that they have set up. And here he is clearly supposed to be not with spending time with Felicity. And he's got the support of his therapist to really set this boundary. And then the universe says, no, we're going to put her life in peril. Now what? And so he's going to go back to his old pattern. This is the most dramatic example of him running in to save her day, but he does. She is, she's getting saved in the situation, and it brings them closer together for a second. And now he has to resolve to no, that was an isolated incident, universe. You're not doing this, because she now doesn't have somebody else to run to the way that she would run to him. So she wants to spend a night talking with him. Let's just sit and talk. Let's make hot chocolate. She's going to say that later. But he is this is the world conspiring to prevent him from not severing ties with Felicity, but what's the therapist's instruction for getting his life on track? And to do that, he has to be away from Felicity or minimize his time with Felicity. And this is the world saying, even when you want to, you can't. And so he has to be especially firm in his choice. And I like that, and I think you can look at this from a 2023 standpoint, and you can say, oh, do we need another show where a guy's saving a girl? This show has been telling that story, with these two characters for a really long time now. And this is a pattern, and this is definitely the most exaggerated version of an event around this pattern, but it is a pattern, and Noel is trying to break it. And he has to be because he was not clear with her about breaking it in the last conversation. She had to break it off on his behalf. And this is like, after this fire, he has to be like, hard no, I'm not coming inside to talk with you. I'm not doing any of these things. And he even takes a step to, it's not that he's trying to put Ben and her back together, but he does her a solid in how he communicates the events of that night to Ben. So it's just like, he is like, literally, this whole pattern, my relationship with you, everything about us and our dynamic has been set on fire. And I'm starting over. And the reason that I can feel that way about this episode doing that is that he actually does.
Okay. I mean, if that's what this took, I mean, look, my summary was Ben passes O Chem, Felicity gets into, the painting seminar, and Noel gets over Felicity.
Mm-hmm.
That was my 3.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the man is putting his life on the line in this way too dramatic way, but fine. He's putting his life on the line for this woman. And what is she doing? She's like, takes his hand, doesn't say thank you. She's looking back at her work. She's not feeling romantically in any way, shape, or form, feeling like, oh, he saved me, it's romance. Like, even if Javier is going to tell her he's your hero, still not. This is not Prince Charming. So I don't know if he notices this stuff, but at the very least, I don't know what it is about this moment that changes everything for him. I get that it does, but I don't know why.
The fact that it changes everything for him, which is not a fact you would know yet, except that I just told you, is why this episode feels important to me, because he thought he was changing everything at the end of her junior year, like final episode. He was like, that's it, never again, not doing this. And I was like, hey, fish, that's not a thing. It's like, because you feel like in that moment, he's so resolute. This is going to be where he gets his life on track and he makes his firm decision. And I sat there the whole time knowing he doesn't.
And I felt like that was such a stronger way to do it than this. Maybe just because I don't yet understand this. Maybe this will be explained later. But like,
not necessarily.
This is so over the top that I'm just like, first of all, it's over the top just in general. And second of all, it makes no sense to me why a fire would change your ability to set boundaries.
I think that it's a heightened event. There was heightened emotion around it. I think he probably notices that she's not like, they've got real friend energy coming out of that. Not like, oh, you saved me, let me give you a big kiss. I think that Noel would not be able to set the limit without all the things that happened earlier in this episode, where the therapist is like, you get that this is an issue with Felicity, right? And like that Felicity's presence in your life is what's allowing you to hold yourself back.
He got that at the end of season 3. Like, I don't.
Yeah, now he has the support.
This is necessary.
Yeah, now that because it didn't happen. They spent an entire summer together. They were closer than ever. They had sex. They were closer than ever, and she friend zoned him after that, but he was just so lost and he had nowhere to go except to continue to have those conversations with her. He spent a lot of time alone. He spent Thanksgiving effectively alone. And like, he's been a wandering soul, very lost, very confused, but because he's not like being clear about where he stands with Felicity, he still has this connection to all of these people and she still keeps visiting him and they still have these chats. And I think, the therapist, it wasn't just once, it was two different sessions that we saw with the therapist in this episode, where the therapist was like, minimize your time with Felicity. And then Noel struggled to do that. And the therapist was like, hey, remember we said you were going to minimize your time with Felicity? And then, Noel has to convey that to Felicity, and he can't even say the words, and he makes her do it. And it's so weak. Like, it's so not having strength in your conviction. Like, he can't even be clear with her about what he needs. And, but she makes that separation, and she doesn't even understand it. So she's going to keep coming back to redraw the line. And then the world throws a fire at them. And he's like, what the actual hell? Like, he saves her and then he sends her on her way. And I think it's a really important moment for Noel, because it just is. And, it's a very dramatic moment in his life and in the show. And I think in a crisis situation, there'd be a lot of feelings that come up. But I think this was him saying, but I'm serious. Like, I really do. Like, no matter how much the world tries to keep putting us together, I have got to create some separation here. And knowing that he does helps me.
Yeah, I guess I just feel that even with all the drama of this moment, it's still really anticlimactic for me, because he was so strong at the end of season 3. I would have bought that. He had Ruby, right? I would have bought that he and Ruby just made it, right? This weird, I don't know, 3-minute fire scene being the thing that finally gets him over Felicity, it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know that he's over Felicity. Or I think he's decided to be done.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, this moment, after all the other strong reasons that we have, Leon and Ruby and toilet paper gate, like this,
I think that's where the symbolism feels good to me, where it's like, we just literally sat there and we burned the relationship to the ground.
We didn't. We burned her art, and she was fine, and the relationship was fine. She took his hand, and I don't know.
I think this is sometimes what it looks like, though, when you set a boundary. Like, I think most of the time, it's not particularly clean. And I think it's these moments where it's like, all right, you know what, a crisis happened and it put us back together. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's something that's a much smaller deal than this. Or maybe it's, a family event and it puts you back in contact. And then you have to make a decision on whether you stay down that road or not. And everything that Noel's been trying to do and everything that his therapist has been trying to do is the opposite of what is about to, like, the natural trajectory that should evolve from this fire situation would be that Noel comes back to Felicity's place. They have hot chocolate. They continue to, be the friends that they were. And Noel is just putting his foot down with it. And to me, that means, yeah, sure, he's going to save her life. Like, they're going to save each other's lives. But, like, this isn't a reason to draw him back into the everyday of it. And he, for me, this is the burning of their relationship. Or at least the one they had.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I would have just rather it had been something normal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but look how many normal things they've had, and he still kept going back to her.
This is not doing it for me. It's just not. I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, all right then. Let's go to Epstein Bar.
Ben be a drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor's gonna be drinking.
He's just showing up and he's not happy about the soggy fries.
He's not, but he's gonna eat it anyway.
Yeah. And they're both situationally, they're both waiting for their results for their O Chem test. Ben's stressed.
And Trevor takes that as he's stressed about Felicity. He's like, then
Mm-hmm.
just call her. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 no. It's not about her. It's the test.
Trevor
And
says,
Trevor's like,
sure.
oh, yeah, sure, it's about the test. Well,
That's
if it's about the
really,
test,
yeah.
let's go check our grades. I'm like, a little forced there.
I
A little
I actually really
forced.
like this though because it tells me there's a comment we got about Trevor, but I'm going to save that for another episode. To me that tells me who does Ben have? Like in his orbit right now. Who does he confide in? Not a whole lot of people. And Trevor, as annoying as it is that he's flirting around with Elena when they're studying, Trevor knows enough to like Ben has this one night stand. Is it a one night stand if they've with Lauren, if they've been seeing each other but they just had sex one night? I don't know.
Yes.
It's still a
It's a
one night
one
stand.
night stand if you only have sex the one time. Like you can
Okay.
still stay friends, I
And you could see
guess.
each other
See each
before and
other. Yeah.
okay. Well, okay. So he has this one night stand. He's clearly like whatever he's been saying to Trevor's onto it. He's like, you're pining for Felicity. He knows it. I doubt that Ben was saying those words to him. Like, I
No,
doubt that
yeah, I
Ben's been
agree.
talking to him specifically about Felicity. Trevor is just savvy enough as a friend, like, and I don't know, empathetic enough to be like, oh, this guy's hurting, and I think I know why. It tells me a lot
Yeah.
about how Ben's been moving through the world.
I guess in this scene, I feel like Ben is actually stressed about his O Chem test. And Trevor bringing up Felicity might make Ben think about Felicity. And maybe he's then denying it. But there is not a logical step for me between I don't believe Ben isn't over Felicity and let's go check our grades.
Well, I think Trevor's like, okay, I think because something that I'm reading from this is that one of the reasons that Ben so threw himself into studying is to distract himself. Yes, he's trying to be a really good student, but I think studying is his way of avoiding thinking about Felicity and avoiding being
It's his
around Felicity.
coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. And I think Trevor's onto that. So
Hmm.
when Ben's like, I know I'm stressed about the test, and he's like, all right, well then let's just deal with that. And then that won't be your thing anymore. And we can just like that's not it. It won't be the focus anymore.
Yeah, he's still got like 3.5 more years worth of doctoring classes that he has to take.
Yeah. But at least he'll be heading
But
into
we're
a
ignoring that.
holiday break. I don't know, like you get a
Sure.
second to breathe.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, we're gonna cut from that for a moment. We're going to see Felicity sitting on the edge of an ambulance.
Yeah. With
And
more of the music. And at this point, I started getting annoyed at the music because I was
oh,
already annoyed that this whole like dramatic fire thing happened.
yeah,
I'm like, ugh, this is annoying. And she's just covered in soot.
yeah. So is Noel for that matter.
Yeah.
Um, and Noel's gonna bring her a blanket and
Mhm.
he gives us the exposition that we needed. It's an electrical fire. Nobody was hurt. And they're just quiet. They just stay quiet for a moment. And
Yeah.
then he's like, all right, let's go. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if in this moment she had said something romantic to him, how he would have received that. Thank God that didn't
She
happen.
says, she looks up and it starts to snow. And I didn't really think it was snowing. I thought it was just ash. But apparently it is really snowing. And she's standing there with Noel and and looking up and going, pink snow. This city is so beautiful when it's least expected. It just leaves them staring up at the sky,
Yeah, and they
at
get
the
the wide
pretty
shot.
pink snow
Yeah.
that's pink because of the fire behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I do think it's an
ugh.
interesting. There have been a couple times when, can't wait to see the city looks like when it snows. That whole bit with Ben, and she's that's been a callback a couple times, and I think this is an interesting riff on that of the
Look,
pink snow.
sure, she can be overly optimistic right now, but I'm your cynic and I'm here to say, yuck.
I'm willing to bet our ratings are going to be so different with this. Guys, I like this episode. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a romantic idea, but it's not romance directed at Noel.
That's
Like she's
romance
not
in the
like,
general.
thank you for saving me. You're my hero. I just want to melt
That's
into your
correct.
arms in the snow. Like she's not doing that.
She did not turn into a
She
southern.
didn't turn into a Southern woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So, I mean,
But
it's a
he could have
moment
put his
that
arm
could have
around her.
been romantic and it was not. But I do wonder, like, if she had done that in that moment, would his boundaries have just fallen off?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
probably.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to Hodges' office. And I so enjoy this scene. So Ben and Trevor, they knock on the door to see how they did. I mean, kind of feel like they're not supposed to be doing this. Hodges probably wanted a moment to himself. They were supposed to check these tomorrow.
Too.
Yeah. But Hodges lets them in and he gives them the results. We're going to see Trevor's first. He got a 79, which I couldn't believe.
I know. I mean, I guess I like his reaction to Hodges. He's like, "You can really teach."
Hodges is
But
stoic.
I guess, maybe some sort of weird osmosis came through Elena.
Yeah.
Trevor.
Yeah. Hodges is stoic with Trevor. You can teach, man. Then he hands Ben his paper and you just see this beautiful red 95 on it. Yeah. Ben is a little stunned and Hodges has just the slightest bit of a smile.
Oh, see, I didn't see a smile yet.
Not quite yet, but it's a little bit flickering there. And Trevor's like, 95?
Yeah. He's like, that's an A.
You got an A, man. I love that, because what we needed was to see Ben and Hodges have this moment of connection in their eyes. And then Trevor is just like, 95.
Yeah. And Ben he's very happy and they're going to exit. And I didn't see any hint of a smile until they are outside, at which point Hodges gives us a smile.
No, Hodges smiled at Ben before they left the room. Ben sighs deeply. He starts to smile. Hodges catches his eye and he smiles a bit. But then when they leave the room, he smiles bigger.
That's when I noticed the smile.
I thought that was so freaking touching.
Yeah.
Just a moment of connection, even in their eyes. Like Ben's like, "Oh my god, I got a 95."
Yeah.
And Hodges is like, "Oh my god, you got a 95."
It's all inside. It's pushed down.
Yeah.
But I did like this scene. I felt like the smile was pride and happiness for Ben.
Yeah.
And probably also some relief that Trevor wasn't dead.
And, if we have in the past sort of made this parallel to the fatherly presence that Hodges might have. And I think I just really like this for Ben. And I like this for Hodges too. I don't know a ton about Hodges, but I feel like I do.
You know he has a son Ben's age.
Yeah. For some reason, even though his character is meant to be so stoic, I feel like I know so much about Hodges. Like, I feel like there's a real richness and depth in their relationship, even when we haven't actually gotten that many words between them. It's, I don't know. I don't know if this is the actor just killing it. I don't know if this is just a story I wanted to see told for Ben. I don't know.
I feel like there is a connection there, and it is special, especially since at the beginning, I think we saw Hodges who was burned out and didn't really like his job and didn't have much faith in his, it was sort of like yeah, I have to fail a bunch of people. And then it's like he finds a special student
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
something ignites in him.
And if we remember the very first time Ben went to go to O Chem, he was like 5 minutes late
Yeah.
and walked out, and Hodges would not open the door for him.
Not only that, he was like, do it again, you're out of the class.
Yeah. And here, Ben shows up as outside of office hours, not when he was supposed to get his grade. Hodges opens the door for him.
Yeah. It's a nice moment.
Just make me really happy. My heart's a little warm just sitting here. Now we're gonna take a left turn to the loft.
Yeah.
Meghan's mom is here. We are not going to see Walter.
No.
But we do see Meghan's mom.
He's probably off at the castle, making sure things are running smoothly in Transylvania.
Or maybe I don't know if Meghan has contact with her dad at this point.
I assume not.
I would assume not too. So I think there's something it makes me really wonder what's happening outside of this scene where Meghan must have called the house and got through to her mom. I don't know who picked up the phone initially. She said, "Mom, you need to get here." And her mom comes. And I wonder what conversation happens back at the Rotundi household after all this.
I have a feeling that Meghan calls, asks for her mom, has not spoken to her mom since that disastrous dinner with her father. Says, like, it's an emergency. I need you here. Maybe Walter's out of the country, right? Like, I feel like her mom shows up. Both feel like if Walter had been there, he would have shown up with her. So I feel like maybe he's got some business thing, and it just makes everything simpler with it just being her mom.
It makes things simpler with it just being her mom, but I think whether or not I think it's interesting kind of no matter what, because it feels to me like the mom's going a little rogue here.
Yeah. But I don't think it's rogue to the point of she snuck out of the house. I think it's rogue to the point of she didn't call Walter on his business trip to talk this through.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a theory, but it feels like both of us think that she's doing this sort of outside of the confines of what Walter would have wanted.
Yes.
I don't know what Walter would have wanted had he known that one of his daughters was pregnant, but I
think Walter
is not a stranger to setting limits.
Right. Like, I think Walter would be like, all right, you're going to, summer in the Alps. And when you come back,
adoption.
Your child will stay with the nuns.
Yeah.
And none of this will have happened.
Yeah. I think we've got a consistent read between us on Walter here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, Meghan's mom is sort of heading into a danger zone on a lot of levels here, it feels like. And
what pisses me off is you said Lila only gets one episode, so we're not going to get to see the resolution of this, which really bugs me because I want to know, like, at this point, Meghan marrying Sean is looking a whole lot better, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know what Lila's choice is going to be. We have to assume if we never hear from her again that either she gets disinherited or and raises the child or gives up the child
I
and
think from her
somehow
mom's
doesn't.
reaction, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like her mom is going to go to bat to support her.
But the thing is, if her mom goes to bat to support her and wins, I feel like Meghan gets taken back into the family because
Could
that
be.
breaks Walter's whole, you can't disrupt my life in any way, shape, or form,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, this is how life is to be led. But unless we see that,
Yeah,
I have
I
to assume that Lila gives up the child.
could be. Well, and maybe the support of her mom is to that extent.
Yeah,
Like she's going to get a hug, she's going to get support, and this baby is going to get adopted. Like I don't know.
yeah,
Um,
that
I,
is my thought.
yeah, it's kind of interesting to see all the ways they present her mom in
Yeah.
this episode. I'm not going to ding this episode for what they don't do in the future, but I wish that they would have given us more with this family dynamic for Meghan, because I've
I
always
agree.
thought it was interesting that the first time we see Walter and Faye, it's we're just
Looking
calling to
for a
confirm our
mailbox.
arrival. And then, they show up and it's the floral dresses and the museums. And then at some point, Meghan is totally fine to dress like how she normally dresses in front of them. And then, she gets married. And then there's this, this rift with Walter, probably both of her parents. And somewhere along the way, Meghan stopped being Meggie and started being a person who could have a sit down conversation with her mom, like, get your shit together, like
I
take care of
enjoyed
your
that
daughter.
moment here.
Yeah.
Like, that was Meghan being an adult, and I appreciated it.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting. And I kind of wish we would have seen this journey in more detail, but we've just seen these flashes, these little windows into Meghan's family. And I think for as much backstory as or like as many side stories as they've given Sean, this was right there for Meghan.
I agree. But I just at this point assumed we weren't going to get anything. So, like, as I was watching it, I was like, ugh, I'm so sad. We're not going to actually get any resolution on this, are we?
Yeah.
But basically, Meghan and Sean and Meghan's mom, who for some reason I want to call Sue, but I don't think that's her name.
It's Faye.
Faye. There we go. So Faye are sitting at the table, and Faye is like, so how pregnant is she? Sean's like, she's really pregnant.
5 to 6 months was his estimation, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, I'm thinking third trimester.
Yeah, I was thinking like 7.
Yeah.
But who am I to know?
End of 6. I mean, by the time you're showing that much, she is skinny though. I don't know. Look, it's somewhere between 1 and 9.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
Yep. Sure. This show once again proving to us that they do know how long a human pregnancy lasts when going to full term. Anywho, I'm not bothered. Okay, so
Mom's got some concerns.
Mom is instantly showing us what she's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the neighbors gonna think?
Meghan's like, same, the Boots will probably not be that flustered because the same thing happened to April some years back.
Okay. Yeah.
Mom's
and
like,
the fact that Faye didn't know that just goes to show how everyone deals with this.
Yeah.
Also,
lies of omission.
Freaking pregnancy stories are we going to have in this show?
We're going to have a lot, okay?
Just this, I was like, really, one more? All right. Couldn't be something else. She got like a, I don't know, weird tattoo. No, pregnant. And Meghan's like, all right, look, Mom, Lila's pregnant. She is wandering alone in the middle of New York City at night in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about the neighbors?
And school, because her mom immediately was then worried after having the neighbors concern squash. She was like, "What are we going to tell the school?" Megan's like, "Stop it."
Yeah. It's
Ah.
not all about you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about you, Faye.
No, it is
Yeah.
not. It's like, did you notice that your daughter's terrified of you? She came here, she made me promise not to tell you.
Hmm.
And that
You
gets
should
through.
be the person she goes to.
Yeah, she needs a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
Well, did you
that
hear that,
working out?
Faye?
Yeah,
Faye
Faye.
did hear that, to her credit.
She did.
The buzzer's gonna the buzzer for the apartment. We're gonna hear that, and Lila starts to do the hey you, and Meghan doesn't call back, and she says, "I'm coming down."
Yep. She
Uh
throws on
oh.
a really nice red coat with a pin. And she's not gonna surprise her poor sister with the
No.
presence of a fae upstairs.
Yeah. So we are now going to switch over to Felicity and Noel coming off the elevator, walking towards Felicity's apartment door.
Yeah. Notice Noel did walk her home. He does not live there.
He walked her to the door. Yeah, he did. And then she wants more. She's like,
She does.
"Want to come in? Get some hot chocolate? Chat?
Yeah.
Please?
Nope.
Please, please? Pretty please with the no?"
Noel is just like, nope, not happening. He's very firm, but he does give her a hug. And to me, this is like, all right, he's being as supportive as he can be. Like, he's being as supportive as like he has the emotional bandwidth for right now. And he's like, I also want a shower.
Yeah.
I did not realize the import of this moment, but sure.
Yeah. So he's given her the old, nope, gonna go home, get cleaned up, almost 9 p.m. Whoo boy, look at the time. And Felicity's like, "You sure you can't come in?"
But yeah, she's pushy. We know that.
Yeah.
Um, but also, dude needs to take a shower. So
Yeah, he
he's
does.
either doing it at your place or his place. And I kind of feel like the no was coming from a place of I'm not coming in to either sit full of soot and drink hot chocolate with you or to shower with you in a place that has only one bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And and yes, it does mean that in this moment. And also knowing that he's actually going to be setting limits with her, it also means I'm just not coming in.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, good to know, I guess.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Good
So,
job. No, good on you.
mhm,
Shower alone.
yeah. So, we are going to go outside the loft where it's snowing still. And we've got a Meghan and Lila scene. Meghan's like, so mom's upstairs.
Yeah. She's like, sorry.
Yeah. Lila apparently was just investigating her options for getting an abortion and found out she didn't have that option.
Yes. She went to a clinic. Can't get an abortion. I love how they never say the word abortion in this.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Very careful about that.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like if you're going to talk about something, actually talk about it. I am, you know, we all feel differently. I'm not saying one way or another how I feel, but I'm just saying if you're going to have a conversation in a show, you should be able to use all the words
Well,
associated with it.
I don't know what was being censored at the time, if anything. Yeah, like I don't know what a network would say no to or yes to. I'm not sure where that stood at that point. So I don't
I'm
know
fairly
if,
sure in the 90s you could say the word abortion.
okay. So it might have been the show's choice.
I think they just wanted to use the word option,
Euphemisms.
maybe?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
We know what they meant. Um,
Clearly.
Megan's gonna say, okay, look, I'm here for you, but you need a mom.
Yeah. Which is nice, since upstairs she had just told Faye, hey, you need to be a mom.
Yeah.
Your daughter needs you.
She is putting in that work. Meghan has been trying on both sides to get them to be able to bridge this gap. Lila's like, she's going to make this my fault. Meghan's like, I won't let her. Lila, it's probably your fault though, right?
Well,
Like, I mean,
it's not all her fault.
But like, this doesn't seem like an assault. Like, this seems like you made a choice here, Lila.
Yeah, I think that is correct. However, I think that there were at least two people present.
That is absolutely true. But
so it's not all her fault.
But I think if, Lila going upstairs and being like, it wasn't me, like that's not going to work here. Like there's no point to that conversation.
I agree. I don't think that's a thing.
It's a bit of a clunky piece of dialogue for me, but I guess that's Lila's worry. So Meghan's going to protect her, I guess, from that. And they go upstairs. I like this little bit. Sean is occupying Faye by showing her the sock shirts, and he's like, Meghan's so smart. This was all her idea. And Faye's just like, aw.
I know. She really does. She really does like it that he's complimenting Meghan. And I also like the fact that Meghan offered to Lila. She's like, all right, yes, maybe you can stay with me. So she's like, all right, I'm going to try to put these two back together, but worst comes to worst, like, I am here for you.
Yeah.
But fortunately, when Lila comes upstairs, what we're going to get is a teary hug.
Yeah, Mom smiles.
Her and her mother.
Faye's heart breaks a little bit when she sees Lila, and she gives her a hug. Yeah, reassures her. And you see this look that exchanges between Meghan and Sean, and I feel like Meghan kind of feels like, I did the right thing, good, sort of satisfied.
She did.
Sean's proud of her.
Yeah. Good on you, Meghan.
Well, there's a lot of baggage in this family right now, I mean, I think the fact that Sean was able to have this moment with Faye where he's like, look at the sock shirts, look how great your daughter is. Like, that was not, before Lila showed up, that was not really maybe on their radar that they'd be able to have a moment like that with Faye.
Yeah, and this is why it bothers me that we don't get to see what happens, because I feel like what happened with Lila should allow Meghan to come back into the family.
Yeah. Do I remember exactly like what we hear third hand about this? No. But do I think that we were going to get a lot more Faye and Walter scenes? No. So yeah.
Sadness.
I do think it was such an interesting, like, missed opportunity for the show. I think that there was, especially if we were going to look at like parody and screen time or storylines between Sean and Meghan, this was so right there.
I mean, we could have had another lactose for breakfast moment.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole family shows up in sock shirts for the holidays.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Perhaps the high holidays.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go back to Felicity's apartment. Felicity is recounting the fire situation to Javier. Noel saved her.
Yeah, Javier is like, Noel is your hero. She's just kind of like, meh, yeah.
Yeah.
So blasé about it. I'm like, oh man. You did nothing. You tried to burn yourself up with your turpentine.
Yeah. He wants to throw out her smoky clothes, and she's like, no, I want those. I want to keep them. They're a souvenir, a reminder.
Yeah, I don't understand this yet, but I'm hoping that somehow the fire with the clothes are going to make it like into her art, and it's no longer going to be about stupid piñatas.
Okay. That is
my hope.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Not a thing. We're going to go back to the loft. Ben, I'll enjoy this scene too. Ben is late night cooking. He's celebrating. He's making food. And
I know, look at that. Ben's
yeah,
cooking and it's not a disaster.
I know. And then Sean sees him and he's like, what do you want, Sean? I'm making food. And Sean's like, what are you so excited about? And Ben goes, I got an A. Sean's like, what?
Yeah.
Incredible. Like he's so excited.
He's so happy for him. He's
Yeah.
happy for his friend.
Ben is just his buddy and he got an A. And then this is interrupted by Noel entering. All soot filled.
This is a very different Noel entering than every other Noel entering this season.
Yeah, this is a little bit like I just came out of a fire. I think I'm coming down from fight or flight right now. He's
Almost
like rubbing
exactly
his
like
eyes, covered in soot.
Yeah.
They freeze.
Yeah.
What just happened to Noel? Noel looks at them and he's like, fire in the administration building.
And Ben actually asks if Noel is okay. He's like, oh, are you okay? Like, I mean, the guy's covered in soot.
Yeah. Noel's like, yeah, but Felicity was there. Ben freezes. Is she okay?
Yeah. That look that he has is, and we get to see it a couple of times. Because Noel does say, it's like, yeah, she's okay, but she's freaked out. But the look that Ben has on his face is just like, I could have lost her.
Yes. And that's the look I think Trevor has seen in some context. Like not in the she almost died in a fire kind of context, but like the whatever's underneath that, like he misses her.
Yeah.
I think it's why Trevor said the thing he said earlier. I think Noel giving Ben this news and the way that he delivered it was, it could on another episode be a weird place to go with Ben, but it sparks Ben, and that's a favorite of Felicity.
It is. And I mean, Noel doesn't say here, yeah, there was a fire and I rescued Felicity from it and she like asked me to cut. Like, that's not where he is right now, right?
Yeah.
He's got it. Ben's the guy.
Yeah.
He loses. So instead, he just kind of gives Ben
information,
but the right information, like the right amount of information, right? He's like, there was a fire. Felicity was there.
And freaked out.
But like,
Ben, activate your hero complex.
Totally fine, right? He's like, Felicity was there. And Ben has to ask, is she okay? Right? And that's why I feel like he's missed her. But there is a big difference between missing Felicity, having the option to forgive her, and thinking she actually could be dead.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that this really catalyzes, sure, he's going to call, but like, I think this is going to be the thing that gets him back on track, which of course, I guess then they have to throw the whole Lauren pregnancy into.
Correct.
Really?
On all accounts. But this is the episode before the mid-season finale. So next episode, they need to get them on track. And then the beginning of the last half of the season, they need to get them immediately off track.
Gosh. This is so frustrating.
Yeah. And then they're going to, the Noel will follow sort of they're just sort of like gonna sort of have him like in this land of wherever we are. Like he's just sort of like floating in the next episode. And then they're going to bring Zoe back in.
This is going to get real complicated.
Yeah. I mean, they're just kind of at that point in the season where they have to tie up some loose ends. Like you're coming in for a mid-season finale. So you need to get to some story endings, some story potentials. Like they're trying to figure out how to get everything where they want it to be to go into the back half of the season. But what your instincts are good here. this exchange between, again, like once again, Ben and Noel always have these powerful scenes, and there's so little dialogue here. It's just like, but look at everything that you feel like. There's so much context to even just the littlest of sentence structure.
And the looks. I mean, it's the lingering looks. Hallmark of this show.
And something about Noel being so like, I think that coming down from fight or flight also doubles as like, I've had enough with like
tired.
I'm delivering this information, and the fact that I've said Felicity's name is not meant to start around 607 between us. Like this is, this is just the information you need. Yeah. And I am now going to shower. Like it just felt very right energy. And then to be matched by that really causing a bit of a red alert for Ben.
Yeah.
And knowing that Ben has this hero complex and that Noel's called him out on it in the past.
But also, it doesn't get activated for Felicity very often, twice so far. Mm-hmm. So like, and she doesn't need anything right now. She's been rescued. Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything, Felicity, I feel like, is the one who rescues Ben most of the time. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything he needs to do, but I think it's good that he wants to know how she's doing.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go over to Felicity's apartment where Javier is bringing the phone to Felicity because it's Ben. Ben called. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we are going to get the conversation with the most things unsaid.
That I put that down too. I was like, there is so much unsaid. Also, there's classic rock for me in the background and snow.
I don't remember what was musically playing, but yeah, they did keep the snow thing going on. Ben, it really like to repeat what they say isn't this scene, it's just like, Ben's like, you okay? You were in a fire.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're or Noel said you were fired. She's like, yeah, we're okay. Elena said you got an A. Ben's like, not a big deal. Paul's like, it is.
Right.
And then,
but what they're actually saying is, Felicity, I realized you could have died, and I have to know that you're still alive. Are you all right? I love you. I love you.
I miss you. I wanted to hear the sound of your voice after you almost died in a fire. And Felicity's like, no, I'm fine. You got an A, which is great news because you worked so hard. You study so hard and you deserve this. And I know this has been a big priority for you. And you've really come a long way, Ben.
I am so inspired by you. You definitely did not deserve to be cheated on. And I am so sorry. All I want is to be in your arms again. But I feel like we're floating away on icebergs.
No, but I'm not going to talk about icebergs.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's my bad.
It'll
fault.
never happen again.
Accountability.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the scene actually was.
You're welcome, listeners. Ben says, so Elena and Javier are there? You're not alone?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for calling. Congrats again. Mm-hmm. Reed, do you want me to come over?
Right. I believe what he meant to say was, you up?
Yeah. I mean, these two. I
know. And I put, it's heartbreaking because they're both still in pain, but it's still hopeful.
The congrats again to Ben, and then the awkwardness of the pause, the long awkward pause, and then the whispering, goodbye.
I know.
Goodbye.
You hang up.
I was like,
no, you hang up.
Listeners, did we just A, ruin this scene for you, or B, make it much better? Probably A.
I would vote B, which is weird.
Okay. That almost never happens that we disagree. Okay.
But also, I'm the cynic.
Yeah. Um, this scene, I'm telling you, it's like on paper,
Yeah.
it's not what it is on paper. Okay.
No.
Oh,
No. Reading the script for this is it's you're right. It's the least said things in a conversation.
and just get comfortable for the next like half an episode with these like whispery saying nothing conversations where everything should be said. Um, like give it another half
Awesome.
episode. Uh, God.
Okay.
I wonder though, with something like this, because it's meant to be a phone call, I wonder if they were speaking to nobody.
Probably.
So like they probably were. So like I that this would be especially hard to get the timing down, but I think that the show got the timing just right in the editing
Yeah.
because it's like, oh man, this is rough. Um, it
It's
needs to be
rough,
awkward enough
but
for us to feel the awkward, but also awkward enough for us to realize that there's like pounds of words they wanted to say that they couldn't.
yeah. I mean, it's awkward, it's heartbreaking, but still the fact that he called and they had this exchange and the things that were unsaid were positive,
Mm-hmm.
where there have been
Yeah,
conversations where things have been unsaid and the
or
unsaid
not.
things were really negative,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like why I feel hopeful.
I suppose that is a turn. It's like a turn you have to feel. It's a turn that's not explicitly said in the script, but like
Yeah.
you're right. Everything that was being unsaid was an expression of love.
Yeah.
Ugh, these
Especially
two.
the I love you, I love you, I love you.
I know. You up? Yeah, I think yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh
Yep.
man, Benjamin. Felicity. So okay, we're gonna go back to the studio. It's the
Which we
day
both
after the fire.
loved the layout of the burnt studio. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
care taken with this.
I
Agreed.
loved all of the shots of the like they really put a lot of effort into the props department. Props to
Yep.
you.
Unintended.
Um they
Melissa's
put a lot
so
of
proud of herself that she just said that.
I just savored it for a second too long. Thank you for coming to my rescue, fish. Um I think they really put a lot of effort into just how they set this studio up, both for the painting scenes, the burning scenes, and this scene. Um, but kind of
Yeah.
every scene they've been showing her studio, they've been putting a lot of thought into it. Maybe it was a hard space to set up. I wonder. I don't know.
Could be. Because they do tend to kind of group stuff together. Like it
Mm-hmm.
feels like at times they have to make it seem bigger so multiple people can fit. And
Yeah.
sometimes they have to make it seem really small so that like Felicity's mess is all around her. I
Like
mean, thesis.
somehow I never really feel like these studio scenes are cluttered, but they are still showing us a lot of work. And it was even like that with the Eli stuff.
I felt like it was super cluttered with when she was doing the pinata painting. There were
Okay.
just so many
There were a lot
paintings.
of paintings.
There were a
She
lot of paintings.
was very productive. Yeah. So, okay, we're seeing the studio the day after the fire. Cavallo is in the studio first. So we enter with Cavallo already there. He's walking around. He's seeing just the ruins of all the canvases.
Yeah.
And then Felicity enters and she's kind of stunned. She's like, oh man, well, so much for all that. And he's like, huh,
Yeah.
well, she makes a joke about needing an extension.
I know. That was a little rough for no name guy from before. Which
Yeah.
couldn't get the extension for him.
I mean, not that they had ever set like a deadline to her
No,
applying for the honors art program, but
I think it was just a joke.
yeah, Cavallo is feeling compassionate here. He's like, but I really liked your work that I saw before it all burned to the ground. He says, it's the kind of work that students in the honors art program do.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Melissa to plug her ears now for a moment,
Uh-oh. Go for
or
it.
unplug her. headphones.
Go for it. Just let it rip.
Okay. I think this next line deserves just like buckets of puke.
Uh-oh.
Buckets. This is the worst line.
Oh, okay.
Ick.
Want to say it? Is it the
No,
pinata bit?
I don't want it to have been said ever.
Well, before he says that, he says, like, are you still interested? She's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
all of that was fine.
Yeah, okay. Then he says, your pinata took another hit. Let's see what spills out as a result. Yep. It's the theme. That's what
Disgusting.
happens when you have a theme, fish. So now we're going to get to Noel boxing some stuff up in his office, and Felicity drops by because she hasn't gotten a hint to give him a pinata.
This is so weird.
I wish that the exchange that they had over this pinata would have been the exchange they had over the book that she tried to give him the last, right? Like, just take the damn book. And she throws it on the ground. What if this pinata just was thrown on the ground and all the candy spilled out?
I don't think there's any candy in it.
Okay.
I think she's just giving him the pinata.
Okay.
And it's a bull, for the record. It is a bull pinata. Probably not an actual callback to the bullfighter.
But I want it to be.
I do too. But yeah, he's cleaning out his stuff. She's carrying another pinata, and instead of slow-mo walking by while he drinks coffee, this time she's coming inside.
Yeah.
To give him the pinata.
As a thing, A, thank you for saving my life, and B, surprise, congrats, celebration. I got into the Outdoors Art program.
Yeah, because the traditional gift between two white Americans for one saving the other one's life is in fact a pinata.
Well, it's part of the theme, fish.
What was the theme again?
Pinatas. Undiscovered contents, but all pinatas.
I see.
So
here's the undiscovered contents. She's like, so we're just like not friends. This is not a thing. We're not friends anymore.
So I can't drop by and give you a pinata?
Right. So like the thing I'm doing right now is like hugely invasive to what you were just trying to do before, even though you saved my life.
Oh, man. And Noel's like, we're friends, but I need to change some things. Plus, like, you need to get back on track.
Well, he's like, I need to change some things about me.
Yeah.
And Felicity goes, why? I love the way you are. Like, of course you do. Felicity. He comes to your beck and call. You've got a little whistle that only he can hear.
I know.
My gosh.
And she's like, okay, but you need to get back on track. I know. I feel like this would be a lot easier for Noel if he could just be like, do not contact me for 2 weeks. Give her some time limit. Give her something concrete here because she is not getting it.
No. But Noel is going to take it, and he is going to take it as a win. He's there with his therapist, and he's like, I did it. Did you know?
Yeah, not really. But maybe this is like going under the theory of like when you start, even if it's just micro steps, like if you start to set limits, maybe it gets easier. Maybe you build a little momentum. I don't know. He's not being especially articulate about these things.
Look, if he has a bowl-shaped pinata in his new office, he did not do it.
I know.
That is the line I am drawing.
Yeah. Well, he says, it's weird letting go of something I thought was so important, but I can't wait for her anymore.
He says it doesn't feel right to wait around for her anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that sentiment could have been really well done through the whole fire scene.
Mm-hmm.
He realizes he has put his own life in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And,
no.
He gets a bit of a sense of mortality. And he's like, Like, I saved her, and of course I would do that. But she didn't appreciate it. She's not coming to me. Like, I have a life that actually can end. There's no reason for me to be waiting around for that. Like, this could have been done really well. It just
That is how it lands for
wasn't.
me. Yeah, that is how it lands for me. Obviously it missed the mark for you, but it lands that way for me.
Yeah.
And because they hold to that and they let Noel fly little bird on his own a little bit more after this. I mean, they have to kind of like, tie a little bow on things next episode because it's in the season finale. So you can't just like open up new storylines necessarily. But we're not going to see it. We're not going to see. And then they spent a whole summer together doing food fights and the crossword. Like that's not where this is going. Like Noel says, I can't, I'm not going to, can't wait around for her anymore. And he means it.
Okay. I mean,
and
good, because
he'll hold to it.
She hasn't been waiting for him at all.
And that doesn't make it easy. That doesn't make it like, he just suddenly stops missing her, but it does make it like, well, this is what he's doing. Yeah. So I think
good for him.
Finally.
Good for him. Finally.
My God. As we said, this is not a spoiler-free podcast, so you have been spoiled on the rest of the season. Anyway, so there we are. That is this episode. And Fish, Lord only knows what you're going to come up with for this, but let's go to the "You're the Worst" segment. How many people / what is the worst?
Faye. Faye is the worst. Making her high school age daughter's pregnancy all about herself makes her the worst. Now, I get it, Faye. It cannot be easy being married to a vampire, especially one who is such a dick. But imagine being his daughter. You've already disowned Meghan because of Sean. And now what? Are you prepared to lose both your daughters and your grandchild? It's time to give Vampire Walter what's for and bring Meghan, Lila, and Sean and your new grandbaby back into your blood-sucking brood. If you do that, you will no longer be the worst. O negative for all. Cheers.
Wow. Fish is coming for Faye. Yep. Faye, you're the worst. Well, there you have it, guys. That's who's the worst. Wow. Well, Fish, you know who's the best?
Our listeners.
They sure are. And we have kind of an assortment of all sorts of feedback here that is kind of interesting to bring in now. So
I haven't been allowed to go on Instagram, so I don't know anyone's responses. These are all going to be just new, because even though Melissa completely spoiled me on the season, apparently she didn't. And there are
I specifically told you to steer away from a Zoe post that I did, because I was worried.
Yeah, but then I was worried
completely spoiled you on all that.
Lead into other posts.
So. Oh, yeah, I hear you. Well, we are heading into the "after you listen to this tape, you have to erase it" segment, where we hear from you, our listeners. And oh my goodness, how to even sort these. So the first thing is a short comment, but boy, was it pithy. At Ruby and Simba 13 says, Elena is retaking the class because of the McGrath thing. The class we've been wondering why she's been taking it with Ben and Trevor.
Was that O Chem though? I thought he did a special seminar for. Wasn't his class like some special seminar?
Yeah, it was a special seminar. So, but I am willing to take at Ruby and Simba 13's comment wholesale to explain why she's in this class.
Okay.
I'm in it. You know what? Ruby and Simba 13, if that makes me less angry, then it's fine with me.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can take some leaps with that logic. Like, okay, maybe she can retake the McGrath seminar because McGrath is probably fired.
I
don't
would
know.
hope so.
So maybe this was like that. I want to retake a class. Maybe this is what they assigned to her. O Chem, congrats.
I feel like she and Tracy kind of smashed O Chem though. Wasn't that like their whole relationship was around O Chem?
Was it? I don't know enough to know what what content they cover
they
in that
were
class.
like meeting and always talking about and making weird O Chem jokes and flashcards.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
but you know
okay.
what? If it makes you feel better, go for it.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple of sort of like Ben and Felicity breakup, sort of the storm episode related comments. And I wanted to pull those in here. So first of all, at Comb Me Maybe was really feeling a certain scene in the restaurant. They say, when Ben's head dropped the moment Felicity started rambling excuses at the restaurant. And then she started saying, we were at the roof. And Ben was like, I don't want to hear a blow by blow. Gosh. This was more of a venting session for at Comb Me Maybe than a question. But
fair.
I
fair
feel
enough.
you. We were saying the same thing. It was hard to watch.
We were indeed.
But at Insta.Mickey answers a question that we posed because it was like, is the iceberg speech iconic? Like, what am I out of my mind when I say I hate that speech? So at Insta.Mickey says, answering you guys, for me, the speech is not iconic because of all the reasons you said in the podcast. But Scott is so sweet. The music and the montage were great. I can't believe either that she didn't say sorry or promise to back away from Noel. That was the least she needed to do.
Yeah. We agree.
We were not fans.
Not fans.
We came down on her hard.
She was the worst.
Okay, I've got a little bit more from at Ruby and Simba 13 here because this was just like an assortment of thoughts that was very interesting, but separate from the Elena comment. So at Ruby and Simba 13 says, a couple comments. First, regarding Meghan's wardrobe. I've loved everything except the wigs and Halloween 60s garb, but she transitions from her goth era, which is worth a lot of money now if you look on Depop under Y2K. It's what all the hip girlies are wearing, to what I think is mainly just trendy for the time, juicy tracksuits and such. She keeps a slightly 60s theme, but it's very subtle. Next comment is regarding Fish's thoughts on Meghan's friendship. I agree with Melissa. Meghan started defending Felicity when Ben went off with Avery and she's on the phone with Ben. She says Felicity is like her little sister and she loves her. She says it twice. That's her first long speech on her feelings for Felicity. You guys forgot about that one. Meghan has been backing Felicity for a while prior to this episode.
I hold firm.
Typical. At Ruby and Simba 13, do you see what I'm dealing with here?
I do agree that the wigs were not the best. That is the least favorite part that I have. But yeah, the whole fairy tale like love affair or whatever that she talks about, nope.
Hi. Okie doke. We appreciate our listeners and all their comments. We've got one more. And this one is, look, I basically have already been spoiling this for you, Fish, but we have a comment that I feel deserves to be put here. And this is from Galena Druke's treatise on Noel. In her section about why Noel, one of the things that she shared was, my disappointment with the show actually is that past season 2, they never allowed Felicity to have those feelings again for Noel. In season 3, he kisses her and she rejects him. And in season 4, she sleeps with him as a reaction to the problems she's having, both personally and with Ben. In this way, I feel that the writers honed in on Ben and Felicity as endgame and threw Noel in as a problem every now and then to reignite the love triangle. But as I said before, the love triangle has a double sided arrow between Felicity and Ben and a one sided arrow going from Noel to Felicity.
Hmm.
Um, this comment, I think, totally applies to this being sort of like the Noel sort of closing this chapter in this episode, but let's take the last 5 episodes of the season out of the equation because they're just weird. They just like open up a lot of different stuff in all different areas, and it's not the season proper. So Galena's comment probably applies the most to this episode.
So we'll consider those 5 apocryphal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, past season 2, they never allowed Felicity to have those feelings again for Noel. I mean, I guess, yeah, they did have it in season 2, for sure.
Yeah.
There have just been these blips on the radar with her, but I think we've both sort of been like, she's just not even, and then having sex with Noel on the roof at the start of the season, it felt more like a coping mechanism than a love for Noel.
Right, which kind of, that has always bothered me with the like Noel's in the drawer, right? Because if Noel's really in the drawer, then explore that, but that's not what happened on the roof. What happened on the roof was like consolation,
Yeah.
just, I don't know, weird comfort. So I feel like it would have been more interesting if Noel had actually been in the drawer, but I'm just kind of feeling like maybe he wasn't. He never really was in the drawer, at least not at that point in time. He somehow got out of the drawer and ran away.
Okay. Do you feel he was in the drawer for season 1?
Yeah, I feel like he was in the drawer for season 1. I feel like he was in the drawer for parts of season 2. But yeah, I mean, Felicity may have taken him out of the drawer and like thrown him away, but like I think it's pretty clear there's no real romantic feelings for him after a while.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, listeners, we love you. We heart you, if you will. We really appreciate your feedback. And Fish,
yeah,
we get to rate the episode now, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. Who goes first?
Who went last time? We have no idea.
I don't know. We have no idea.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
Look, I stand fast again in my summary of Ben passes O Chem, Felicity gets into advanced art seminar, Noel gets over Felicity. How long did it take me to say that? That's all of this episode that I needed. Like the rest of it, out the window. Like I don't care. I wasn't convinced about any of the fire stuff. It was weird and anticlimactic. We never find out what happens to Lila. Didn't think we would. And I don't know. I liked the phone conversation where nothing was actually said, but everything was said. I will give them that. Pinatas, did not like. Yeah, basically just it's pretty much a bit of a nothing episode for me. So I don't know. Like I did like the phone call, and I liked the art studio once it burned. So maybe like a 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
My rating is almost entirely constructed to stick it to fish.
Is it pinatas?
Then my unit of measurement is pinatas, and I'm
Yeah.
giving this a 10 out of 10.
Oh my God. You are not.
I am. I'm doing it because why? Because it's our podcast. And as one of the people on it, I can do whatever I want. All right. And I thought to myself, is it too much? Are there problems with this episode? And I thought, no, I love it. Okay.
What?
So, yeah,
How?
because
How?
pinatas.
I
I
mean,
love the
look, I could
symbolism.
understand your rating of the whatever for the Lovelorn because it was like a completely non-Felicity episode. I loved it. 10 out of 10. But like for me, I feel the same way as you did for the Lovelorn one. Like this
Okay.
is just a non-episode.
A non-episode.
It's a
This whole entire thing was
non-episode.
about the original, like, this was a Noel versus Ben episode
Oh, come on.
in
Ben had
its
already won.
most basic form. Yeah, but it's interesting to me that they could find any sort of a way to come back to basically the first question and answer it.
But they didn't. They'd already answered it. They just set a fire for the fun of it.
For me, the fire was beautiful symbolism of the end of the romantic, like any sort of Noel being in a drawer, like that. It is off the table as of this
Always
episode.
been off the table.
They lit it on fire and they watched it burn. I appreciate all of the metaphor, all of the symbolism. I appreciated getting a chance to see a little Meghan stuff, even though it won't be followed through after this. You wouldn't know that watching this episode unless I told you. So I like that they gave us another glimpse into Meghan with her family. I love that they had some of these really great scenes, the Noel and Ben scene at the end, the Ben and Felicity phone call, where it's just like a mountains of context, mountains of unsaid words in very lean dialogue, and it all reads through because these actors are so good. The fire is dramatic, but it in the context of a season that for me is more often not as great than the other seasons. A lot of times this season kind of lulls me to sleep, and I never forget what the fire episode is. Like for me, I know it's got these really memorable images. The canvas is burning. The pink snow. There are certain things that I'm like, oh yeah, that's this episode. Where there's some other episodes this season that I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So there's a real sense of place for me with this one. And as much as it's like, well, what about our side characters? What's their story? I do think it's interesting that for a moment, we have an episode that gets back to our core three and answers or begins to answer some questions. Also, if you're somebody who wants to see Ben and Felicity together, the most hope you've had in a minute has been that phone call we had at the end. To leave an episode with that feeling, because over Thanksgiving they hook up and he's like, nope, I shouldn't have done this, and you're like, but if you wanted them back together, the fact that they leave you on this note at the end of this episode feels more hopeful. And it feels like, you said, I think there's a lot, the stuff that's unsaid is an expression of love, not an expression of hurt. So it's nice to see the fire kind of cleansing things, I guess, for their relationship. And for Noel, it's about time this guy took care of himself, found a way to move on. And you wouldn't necessarily know that coming out of this episode, but I know that it's happening. So I like it. And I'm giving this one, much to the chagrin of Fish, 10 out of 10 pinatas.
Yeah. All right. That's your rating. You get to do it. You get to rate it however you want.
Sure do. Hey, listeners, we want to hear what you think because, my God, 2.5 out of 10 versus 10 out of 10 is a pretty big spread. Who's with Fish? Who's with me? You're making firm decisions here. No, we love your thoughts. We want to know everything that's going on for you, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're pretty polarized on this. I don't know if there are people who are kind of sitting in a middle zone with this one. Who knows? Who knows what's happening out there? So tell us, send us your feedback. Maybe you're a Felicity fan. Draw us your pictures of pinatas. Okay. Send them to the melissafish@gmail.com. That's Melissa with one L, two S's. The melissafish@gmail.com. Also, get to be part of the conversation. Join us over on Instagram @Felicity Podcast. And if you want to know when we drop new episodes of this podcast, you can find out. We'll send you a newsletter if you sign up for it. So go to wherever you're listening to this podcast, check our show notes, and you can see the link to sign up for the newsletter there. And hey, while you're there, rate and review this podcast. Hopefully the rating won't be like Fish's rating for this episode, okay? We're encouraging you to get excited, all right? That's what we're hoping for. But you rate, you review, you let people know because that'll help other people to find this podcast. Fish. Mm-hmm. The next episode that we are going to discuss, the mid-season finale, is called A Perfect Match. Now that I've spoiled most of the season for you, what do you think is going to happen in A Perfect Match?
Well, apparently there's going to be a lot of whispery dialogue between Felicity and Ben where nothing is said but everything is said for half of the episode. And then I don't know what happens for the other half of the episode. Perhaps they realize they're a perfect match. Since it seems like the whole Lauren thing doesn't happen until next episode. So, yeah. I mean, I'd really like it to be that Richard finally gets a girlfriend. I really wanted that part of my predictions to come true.
Mm-hmm.
Or Richard.
Yeah.
Perfect match, but that's unfortunate because they're going to call them a perfect match and then they're going to rip them apart. It's not cool.
Okay.
It's not cool.
Well, I'm going to plant a seed for you. One of the things that will be really interesting to watch next episode is next episode, they clearly filmed it before September 11th.
Interesting.
And after September 11th.
Are there pictures of the Twin Towers that they then had to edit out?
Well, I'll leave. I won't spoil the specifics of it, but I think it'll be interesting to see, you know, how and if that weaves into the conversation, which I guess it has to now that I've mentioned it. But it's like in a post 9/11 world, it's like, oh my gosh, like there's a whole scene where you're like, wait, okay, whoa, we don't live in this world anymore. But they'd already filmed it, so. It's going to be interesting because I know we haven't necessarily spotted a lot of those pre-post sort of moments. You thought maybe you spotted one in the Thanksgiving speech from Javier. Could have been, you know, it's one of those things like, do you reshoot? Do you edit something differently? But this one they couldn't do differently, I guess. Okay. Maybe they could have, I don't know. Maybe they could have reshot it, but it becomes sort of a time capsule of its own. So.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of stuff that we said about this one, Fish.
I mean, we said a lot of stuff for me thinking it was pretty much a nothing episode.
Sure. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about a nothing episode that I gave a 10 out of 10 to? All right. Well, until next time, Fish. Don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.